The same thing happened.
Shh, back.
What's up? Midweek podcast.
Midweek mini podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Look, we started on time, 8:30.
Yeah.
We were shooting for 7, but here we go.
There we go, I guess.
Now we know what we have to do.
So,
Start at 7. What's going on? Thanks for joining midweek. If you guys could tune in again, that's great.
yeah, it's going to be a short podcast, not a very long one this time.
Yeah, just 3 hours or 4 hours or something.
Yeah. We got a complaint last time that it was too long.
Too long?
Just kidding.
No. Who's that one person?
There was that one person that watched.
Yeah,
We actually did pretty good last time. The Twitch stream was active as hell last time.
it was. It was really nice.
Twitch was good.
It was really good. So, what's up? What's the plan for the week so far?
I don't know. What day 20 for this guy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Sobriety kicks still. 20 days, baby. 20 days.
Yeah, me and Super drinking for him instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Twice
Cheers.
as much.
twice as much, yeah.
Cheers, boys. I'm going to take part of this. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, we didn't ask you though.
I don't know if I
I
want
guess-
to. It's bad luck, man.
I guess you could.
We're back at the new
The new studio.
new studio. The old one is just weekend stuff.
Yeah, we're getting it renovated.
That's it.
You guys are so quiet, man. What we're doing this?
Just sitting, chilling,
Yeah.
just chilling.
I'm about to get my hair cut.
Yeah, we're gonna do a live stream of a haircut.
Well, we should do an online poll.
Shave his head?
Shave my beard or not to shave the beard?
Oh, that would be interesting.
But I feel like we say that for a Sunday, though.
Well, I don't know. Today seems like a pretty good day for shaving a beard off.
Let's not shave the beard.
I feel like, yeah.
Look what happened to...
Let's have a vote.
That's up,
Shave a beard day.
Listen. Look what happened to Lanier when he was cut his beard off, man.
Yeah. Well,
So let's just leave the beard power alone, guys.
well, whatever you want to guess, but I think we should.
Whatever you want to guess.
Yeah, no. So this Sunday, I was gonna tell you guys not on the podcast, but I don't know if I can make it.
Well, thanks for sharing now. Jeez.
But I'm thinking I'll still be able to make it because
Why?
I just have to show up in time because I have a Métis Gala to go to. It's
Okay.
for they do a gala every year, and our dealership sponsors a table and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it probably goes.
Yet again, another party we're not invited to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
another party.
someone's got to take the podcast serious. So
I
you
mean,
guys got to do this. But no, I think I'll be there for around 8:30.
yeah.
I'll
Okay.
just show up right on the time. But
Yeah.
What does the gala entail?
it's basically supporting of the I think it's for the Children's Hospital, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh, okay.
or the Métis government and Métis things.
So is it like a plate dinner? Or
Yeah, it's like a sit down. Like everyone gets into gowns
and
and things
everybody
like that.
pays like
Yeah,
for the plate or whatever?
pays for the plate. You sponsor tables. You sponsor
Oh,
for
okay.
advertising for.
So there's a whole table we're still not invited to.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think if we could do maybe a live stream from there. That'd be kind of interesting.
That would be kind of cool.
I don't know how we would do that though.
Just do it off your phone.
Yeah.
Just interview people off your phone.
Might be an idea.
Yeah. We could always try to what's it called? Skype you back in again.
Skype in. That might be an idea too.
But we need to figure out how to do the sound because last time there was no sound.
Sound didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, sound didn't work last time. But
Well, we could talk about that after or whatever. But you guys have suits?
yeah.
Holy, do you guys have suits?
Well, I
He
don't
thinks
know.
we're just like bums.
I mean,
You guys have one.
actually, hold on. I used to have a suit. I don't have one available at the moment. So maybe I just borrow one of yours, buddy.
Use a birthday suit.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it okay if I wear a Manitoba tuxedo and just go in leather?
Yeah.
I mean, in leather. Wow.
If you want.
If you want. I'm in denim.
Come in.
I'm in denim.
If you want.
Assless chaps.
Smucklets and
Hey, oh, wee.
Eskimo gear.
If you want to.
I feel like we're reaching some serious
No,
viewers right
that's
now.
everything.
I'm just correcting myself for facts. I just had an audience member correct us. We have a huge audience watching us tonight.
We have a live
Live
audience.
audience. And
Live
it's,
studio audience.
it's supporting of the St. Boniface Hospital. So I guess proceeds go to the St. Boniface
Oh,
Hospital.
nice. So
Last
it's
year
in
they
the
did it somewhere else. I thought they. Oh no, they did go to St. Boniface last year too. They always do. No,
Yeah.
Last year's children's.
Children's. That's right. Okay,
There you
so
go.
got that straightened out. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I might actually have 3 extra spots too, if we wanted to try to do a live stream. But I don't know if we have to confirm that. We'll talk about that after.
It doesn't want to commit to anything online that this is gonna.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how we would even do a live stream, and I don't want to know if I want you guys to come at all. To be honest.
I wouldn't invite you guys.
That's funny.
But yeah.
What else happened this week? What else happened here? I was in a debate about one funny thing I was talking to my sister about, which is going to probably come on air right away, is about the rights for women. Do you believe in that's equally pay right now, or do you believe it's not equally pay right now?
It's actually not equal pay.
It's not?
Hold on.
Women actually get paid more than men.
Well, I know on Twitch they do.
There was they actually did a study on like the whole pay gap thing, and it turned out that women actually get paid more than men.
Really?
Yeah.
So the thing. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of
Which is hilarious.
A lot of groups play the statistics and the what's it called, the data wrong. Okay, so a lot of things that don't get put into this data is the fact that women actually don't work as many days as men do, because a majority of women, not all of them, have kids.
Yes.
When a kid is sick, who stays home?
I don't hear from man with ours though.
Mostly the mother. So that it also attributes to the lesser wage.
Okay, if you take that out of the equation though, and you just go work for work,
Well,
job for job.
it's also the thing is also
Their brains are smaller, man. They should get paid less.
no, but
I'm
also,
just joking.
no, but the other factor they don't put in is that men tend to do more physical jobs that are higher paid, that are more dangerous, right?
Right. Okay, but
I feel like this conversation is really dangerous right now.
No, it's
Well,
not.
no, it's just
It's
I'm just stating facts. I'm not like I'm all for women getting paid equal to men.
Yeah. Well, maybe Becky.
That's why a lot of more-
start cutting hair, and then we'll ask her to come in on this conversation because she's.
You might not see Becky too much, so
You'll
it's
see her
really
chest. You'll
if
see
you
her chest.
if you just drop down and say hello, then
What do you?
you can't really see yourself there right now, but she.
just all boobs.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
You might get more viewers.
So yeah, this is Becky.
Becky's gonna cut Vic's hair because we're in a crunch of time, and we started on time, which is weird actually that you say that.
Yeah, and
We thought it'd be interesting to have her cut hair live and then ask her some questions as a female background.
yeah, I'm not gonna really ask questions while I'm getting my haircut because I like my ears, I like
Yeah,
my
that's
hair.
probably a good idea.
So I'm just gonna sit here and like.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
Just let it.
Don't fight it. Just let it happen.
But about the thing is that like with women, if you compare like you can't even use lawyer. I don't use lawyer. It's a bad example. But use a store clerk as a woman that's just at Walmart, just running stuff through, and a guy
equal pay.
they make equal pay.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of equal pay out there. I don't know if a woman necessarily.
I think
makes
when
more.
when they come into these conversations, it's usually they talk about higher paying jobs,
Like corporate jobs.
like
and
corporate jobs and
market
stuff like
jobs,
that, right? Like the corporate women make less money than corporate males do and stuff like that.
So
Okay.
here's my thing about groups, and like I'm not talking about just feminists. I'm talking about all groups. Is that people who, if you want to believe in just one thing, you're going to find the one thing that you can latch onto to make that the reality for what you want to support. And that's the way people are nowadays, right? And so there are a lot of situations where women don't make as much as men, but I think that that's fair considering what the job is. Like, you can't latch on to something like NFL and say that, like, well, male football players make more than female football players, whereas like
yeah.
they don't
Yeah, it's a
they
good
don't
issue.
generate
Yeah.
as much
The
business.
industry
So
is
That's,
you
that's
can't-
exactly it. Then if the like the women's basketball doesn't make even as close as the NBA makes.
No,
you
not
know.
even close.
Right, but some
equal
people
pay
look
versus
at
equal
those
work, I guess?
statistics
Yeah.
and they think that like, oh well, why are male basketball players
Well, that's kind of
or
where
football players making more than, and it's like, well, because they generate more revenue, and so
we kind of talked about that on Sunday too, right? About how different media sources or different organizations will skew things to their own agenda, right? So a lot of times these statistics are flawed, or people aren't telling you the full story of the statistic, right?
absolutely. The thing is that like I got into a conversation about this with a man actually who was trying like every which way to tell me why I'm wrong, and I'm thinking to myself, there's something so backwards about this conversation, because he is like saying, well, women should make as much as men, and I'm thinking, well, sure they should, and there's a lot of situations where I think that women make more than men, like, and he was using the example of doctors, so I'll just kind of try to rehash that conversation, where he's saying that if you have a male doctor and a female doctor, they should make the same amount of money. And I'm going, well, of course they should. But at the end of the day, me personally and you personally, I'll make more money than you at the end of the year because I'm more personable and I'm more compassionate. I'm going to get more clientele than you are. Therefore, I'm going to make more money than you. So I feel like it should be accorded to who's better at the job, who generates more revenue, who's bringing. It's not just about men and women anymore. Whereas I feel like a lot of people are like looking at things as like, oh well, statistically, like men make this much more than women, and this, that, and the other thing. Where it's like, well, yeah, but like
It's deserving. You're saying it's deserving
Well,
on both sides.
I feel like, for the most part, yeah, in my mind, I feel like it is deserving. I feel like women
also-
make more than men in a lot of situations as well. It's like the best person for the job. Like, you
Okay.
shouldn't have to hire, for example, because we're Métis, a Métis person, you should hire the best person for the job, not just somebody based on
Sex. So what you're
sex
saying,
or
Sue?
whatever.
Sorry?
Yeah.
You're saying what, Sue?
I was gonna say,
Sexual race, no?
listen, women, less talking, more cutting. I'm just kidding.
I thought you wanted both your ears.
Oh,
Both ears are probably.
I'm just kidding, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I believe that it's pretty fair nowadays in, I'll say, North America, like in Canada and the States. The opportunity, almost in some situations, I believe that women have a better opportunity than men in a lot of areas.
Especially if you're a minority or you're,
Especially that.
yeah, you get more. You're almost guaranteed a job if you are female. You're a minority.
Yeah.
You know, a company has to hire you because they have a quota they have to meet.
Right,
But
but
that
that's
doesn't equal- but
that's
that-
the point of the
but
conversation.
But that doesn't
Yeah.
equal equality, though,
Well, no, not in terms of.
right? Like
But that's also.
one of the things that's always forgotten is so here's the thing: women had a shitty run for a really long time.
Yeah. But
We can't sit there and say that they had the same. They didn't even have the same rights as men did for a while,
No.
right?
We're not talking,
So that's exactly
we're
it.
not talking about that.
No, but at the end of the day, like one of the things that's always forgotten in this conversation is what the word equality means. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. It means everybody's equal. But everybody is quick to go, oh, men don't make more, or women make less, or women make less and make. Man, it's getting better. It hasn't been that long since things have started to turn around. In our generation, we've already seen a huge, drastic change, right?
Yeah.
And change doesn't happen overnight.
But it's also still, in a lot of other countries, still like it was 50, 80 years ago. when I was
Absolutely.
here. But I'm not talking about who's getting the job or who's not getting the job. It's more the story about if the person gets into that job, male or female, the wage is the same. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're talking about doctors, for example. Are you a pediatrician or are you a brain surgeon?
Yeah.
You're a brain surgeon. You're gonna make more money, male or female, right?
That's right. And that's the
So
thing.
That's the thing. Like, what are their guidelines and what are they rating their statistics on, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Statistics get played in the favor of both, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the thing. If you're not knowledge, or if you see like one statistic and men make more, but you don't look into the fine print or you look into it, you sit there having that idea, right? At the end of the day, you need to do this research. You need to look in and realize that the gap is not as huge as they make it out to be.
I think
It's actually not. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
They did. Microsoft did. They actually did a study, and they rated the top like 20 biggest companies
Yeah.
and compared the female CEOs and male CEOs, all the execs and everything.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that the females made more money than the men because they could like a CEO that takes mat leave, she's still getting her bonus. She's still getting her,
Oh, the male can't.
and the male's not. He's working
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the end, she makes a
But
lot
that's
more
all
than
the
he's
stuff that comes
making.
into the statistical play too, right? And I hate to use this term, but the term feminist, a lot of feminists will play that agenda and say women make less, but women also take mat leave. Like I said, and one of the big things on the statistic and it's actual fact, is it's a fact that when a child is sick in a home, the mother will take the day off, something like 80% more than the father will.
Yeah.
Right? And that also comes into that wage gap. And until that's removed, then you're gonna see an unfair statistic.
This is a very interesting conversation
See, but
to
like-
have when she's cutting her hair.
I know.
The thing, but I'm fair and I'm even. You know that, so you know I'm not gonna. I'm stopping cutting because I'm gonna disagree with you right now.
Let me explain that to everybody that you're not. This is not a belittling situation. This is
Yeah.
just you're cutting hair. We're not trying to prove a point. It's not.
no, it's just a conversation that's happening for
Yeah.
sure.
Just gonna make me a sandwich after.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right away. I'm gonna make you a Vic hair sandwich.
He's already had those.
He's gonna make me a knuckle sandwich right after this.
He's already had a Vic sandwich. Don't worry.
Big hair sandwich.
That's all. I can't remember why I was gonna.
See how you diffuse with humor?
Yeah.
That's funny.
See what you do to women, yeah.
I do.
Oh.
I do think though there are some things that have carried over from the past that aren't don't give women an advantage. For example, like because there was so many like women couldn't have jobs and guys kind of did get a head start because they just
Yes.
didn't allow people to
Yeah,
work or women
yeah.
to work. That now a lot of males are CEOs or owners of businesses and they had those extra 50 years or whatever amount of years it was
Yeah.
that now they're in those big positions to hire who they want to hire. Now men are going to hire those people, but they're also going to hire family, friends, or sons to run the company or whatever it
Yeah.
is that they might not hire a woman over their son.
And another
No.
thing that's going to be said too is I feel like women aren't as and this might be
Easy.
No, hold on. No, like guys take stupid risks sometimes, and they
Yeah.
and sometimes they cash out big, right? I feel like women in their nature don't take as big of a risk sometimes. Like if you look at Forbes' top 100 richest people, you need to get to like number 26 before you see a female,
Self-made.
a self-made female, because the rest have all inherited money or have gotten money through like a divorce settlement and stuff like that.
That's a fact. That is a
Okay,
fact.
but do
And
you
I'm-
know the statistics between women who are single with no kids and women who are married with kids, like as to who's made it on their own and who?
That's the different conversation.
That's a different statistic in general,
Well,
right?
but it all boils down to the same thing, though, right? You can't say that this percentage of women has done this
No.
when they were single women with no kids,
Mhm.
when in the same sentence you just said that women take maternity leave. Well,
But then-
because they have to, and
but
so
then-
that doesn't put them in a lesser position.
no, I'm not saying it's a lesser position. I'm just saying that in general.
They take more time off than men.
No, I'm just saying like in the current conversation, like it's just men sometimes are a little bit more a little bit more ballsy, I guess, because women really like. I wouldn't take half the risks. Wouldn't take half the risks I take if it wasn't for the fact that I was relying on somebody else too, right? Women
Well,
are
that's
more.
the point.
Women aren't like that. Women are more.
Taking maternity leave, so the
take-
men can
take-
take the risk.
Take the mat leave.
So woman sacrifice.
Well, yeah,
Right.
yeah, they sacrifice more, or they're capable of like they nest egg, right? They nest the money. They don't go out and do the like that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it's belittling women. That's actually like a trait that allows these CEOs that are males to make these multi-million-dollar companies.
No, the
right?
thing is to kind of elaborate on that is like women and men have different personalities, right? We can all agree on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
men tend to do the more dangerous jobs, like or to do the more physical type of jobs, like engineering or
Construction.
right? And women are more personable. That's why you see a lot more women nurses or women they tend to like be
More caregiver-
more like
care-
caregiving kind of jobs, right? So that's sort of it's just what it is, right?
I had this conversation before, and I said the same thing, and I'll say it again. And now that Becky's here, at least we have a female opinion on it. I always said the same thing. The strongest person on this planet is always going to be a man, because physiologically we're built stronger. We're built differently. Our bone density is different. We have more muscle
we're
mass.
built to fight animals.
We're designed to be stronger.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. The most compassionate person on this planet is always going to be a female.
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem with equality is that we see that as different. We see
Yeah.
one more important than
More
the other.
important,
That's a good
When
point.
at the end of the day, that's the problem with equality, is that we don't see that as equal.
We're so narrow-minded to see equality as the same trait, it has to be the same
Yeah,
for equality.
yeah,
We're not
exactly.
comparing two things
Yeah,
equally
exactly.
as important, which is a very good
Nurturing
point.
is more important than physical strength.
Yeah, that's
See, but like, okay, so here's the thing. So I agree with like some of what you said. I feel like men are physically stronger. I'll give it 90% of the time. I will not say men are always. I met some pretty weak bitches in my day. I'm just saying. Like I'm not.
well, we're
gonna say
talking
that.
we're talking in general,
On this
right?
planet, yeah. On this
Overall,
planet,
in the
they'll never
Sure,
be a
but-
woman as strong as a man, because you guys aren't built the same way we are.
Okay, but you
I mean,
haven't-
physical
you haven't
strength,
heard
physical strength,
what I
physical
have to
strength,
say it.
physical strength.
So, yeah, but you didn't say that. You said stronger. And so I'm saying, sure. Okay, so physically, I will tell you right now that I believe that men, 90% of them are physically stronger than women.
Yeah.
However, I believe that mentally, women are 90% physically stronger than men.
Mentally stronger.
Or mentally stronger.
No,
sorry.
absolutely, 100%. I will not
Right, but
refute
so
that.
you can't just use the word
I-
as
sorry.
men are stronger
So,
in this way.
I
because
retract.
it's
Yeah,
not.
no, you're right. I should have said the word physically stronger,
Right.
and that's exactly it.
And that I'll
Yeah,
agree with. And
yeah,
I'll have a
yeah.
lot of people that
Yeah.
are going to come down on me for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But like,
Same.
Well, it's
I'm
fact,
a
though. It's
realist.
scientific.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like scientific fact.
We're
I
just
want a
building
man where I can go pick that up. It's heavy.
Well, yeah, or like you want a man who's like, if you're out camping and a bear comes, who's gonna fight off the bear, you or your man?
Well, I'll be honest. Depends on the guys because I've dated some.
But your preference.
I
though.
might be thrown up.
Your
for it.
preference, though.
No,
Would you pick a dude that's gonna fight the bear?
Again, it depends on the guy. I know I have a better chance than some guys. Like,
If you're trapped on a 4-story building and you need somebody to kick down the door, pick you up, and carry you down 4 flights of stairs, would you prefer a 300-pound guy or a 100
tranny.
or a
I want a
200 or a 200-pound girl?
Again, but that's my
That's it.
point. Is that it depends on the person. Like you
did.
can't.
Hold on.
I feel like you can't say anymore. Like it's like I said, 90% of the time I'll throw it to the guy.
Yeah.
Well, no,
But if you're
but-
asking
so
me
but
what
that-
I prefer,
yeah.
I'll tell you. It
Let me
depends on the
say something.
person.
Beck, I'm gonna say this
Yeah.
though. You're looking at the world on a one-on-one situation. We're looking at it as like a global situation in the most. You can't bring it down to that dial of one thing. We're talking about the grand scheme of things. 90 or whatever way you want to put 90% of people, yes, are going to be the ones that kick down. It's going to be a man that you'd want to have.
Yeah.
There might be that one woman out there that could carry you down, or whatever. Yes,
For sure.
But just in the broad speak, for the argument's sake, it's only a few of those. It's majority. It's going to be a man that would do that job.
You know what the cutest thing
For
is? That,
sure.
hold on, time out. Just 1 second. The cutest thing that I just realized, and that Kathy, who's sitting a chair away from me, is commenting through the YouTube comments to not interrupt the podcast.
She's
awesome.
respecting the audience. We got a side audience.
Anyway, things are changing now. Guys are able to take out paternity leave, but most of the time they won't.
Like, why would a guy take?
I wouldn't take
I
paternity
feel like
leave.
that's deserved of.
Not only that, not only
I
that,
carry a baby for 9
I have
months.
an argument. In my
Unless you wanted to go back to
Yeah,
work,
in
yeah.
right?
I thought I
Then-
cut off all your ears. Go ahead.
in my relationship, honestly, I would be the one taking maternity leave.
Would you?
Yeah, 100%. Because Nicole is
Good on you.
at work is too valuable, makes like 20 times more money than I make.
Oh, so the wage gap.
So back again.
the wage gap. Is,
So again, the woman stays home with the baby.
and the one who wears the pants goes to work.
So going back to what you said about 90% of men.
My favorite.
There's a few punk bitches.
You know what? My favorite part was last time I so confidently to the youth offending point. Only to get
That's so funny, actually. Now, I actually went all red. I got blushed. I'm staying home for Arcturus. Fuck that. Fuck that. You're going to work.
So Nicole's the one battling the bear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this guy's hiding in the tent.
No,
That's
so
funny. But that's
yeah.
kind of, this is kind of getting off topic a little.
Oh,
Because what now?
uh-oh. There's a Sharon Vargas
Oh,
comment
man.
thing. Uh-oh.
Shout out to Sharon.
Tell that barber to put down the scissors when she's talking. She is going to stab someone.
That sounds like Sharon.
That was the whole, like, I mean, this is why I'm doing this live, guys, just in case there's witnesses.
Yeah, we put it live so that she can't kill us when we talk about this. But I don't know. Though I think though, like jobs and getting jobs, yeah, I think there's a little bit of difference from male and female, depending on the industry.
Yeah. I
Because-
don't disagree with you, man.
But I think that in the end, I think the wages are relatively
In this
equal
day,
for what you earn.
in this day and age, you get what you want to get.
What you earn,
Yeah.
what you're valued at.
You would hope so. You would hope that you would get in what you put out, right?
I would think it's that way, unless if you're talking about like Greece, for example, or you're talking about
Hey.
Italy or
Yeah, those are
Mexico.
very
Look
misogynistic.
at Saudi Arabia. They just
Right.
they
Saudi
just
Arabia.
started letting women drive.
Why? There's no road between the bedroom and the kitchen.
I don't know if we can. Yeah,
Jesus Christ, Victor.
you can't say the Lord's name in vain on air. Like
Jesus.
There's some
Oh,
places in
Bartholomew.
there's some places in Afghanistan women can't go anywhere without a male present with them.
Sweet. Where do we find these?
that, it wasn't that the funniest thing. It wasn't that the funniest thing during like 6-7 months after Trump got voted in. That like everyone's like, well, if Trump's in and he's doing all this stuff, I'm out of here. I'm like, where the hell are they gonna go? These people, like, where's better than the States?
Hey, I saw no mass evacuation of the states. Everybody's still there.
all the people that
If
were
Trump-
illegal
yeah,
there came
yeah,
to Canada.
Yeah. Oh, if Trump wins, we're leaving. Well, you're still there, buddy.
Yeah.
way to uphold your word.
And he's gonna win 2020.
Oh yeah, he will for sure.
Who is?
Trump.
Oh yeah, he will. For sure.
2020 is his again.
Not a chance.
Who's gonna beat him?
Nobody.
Nobody. There's
Hillary.
nobody.
Hillary.
There's nobody.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah.
Joe Biden. He's running. Eh?
Joe Biden.
Joe
Yeah.
Biden's running. It's so funny. He's running, and then
Obama's the secretary.
no, Obama's the vice president.
The vice president would be Obama.
Joe Biden.
It's totally legal too, right? There's nothing they can do to stop that. That'd be fucking great.
He's running, but it's so funny is because there's a fake website of him, of like creepy Uncle Joe.
Oh, Creepy Uncle Joe.
And it's actually
Sure.
higher rated than his old normal website. So you go there, it's like all of him like sniffing little girls and like
He was creepy. We played that.
We
before.
played that creepy Uncle Joe.
yeah, Uncle Joe is just like Uncle Joe's running for the president and he's putting in all of his hands into the way it's worded. It's
just fucking
it's so
weird.
hilarious.
Just a creep.
And it shows him like sniffing all these little girls. And
So I know.
like,
I watched all those. He's a creepy dude.
He is a creepy dude, man.
In a closing of that good conversation we had of the debate, I really think that Vic had a really good point saying that I think most people don't look at the equality being two different skills. I think that if we're going to talk about the skill situation, that women have a lot of skills they bring to the table that are just as equally as important as men.
If
bring
not
to the table.
more. If not more important.
But there's
Right?
a lot of men skills that men bring that are more important than some things
of
too.
course.
That's what I was saying. Is it depends on the job, right? Like,
Like a man can build a village, but a woman can unite it.
Yeah, right.
And also men are
Right?
men are just drawn to jobs that women are drawn to, and women are drawn to jobs
Yeah.
that men are drawn to. It's just natural,
It's natural.
you know.
so maybe just to let you guys know, like this conversation started over the movie Battle of the Sexes, which is like Emma Stone and Steve Carell, and it's about Billie Jean King, and it's about tennis and how these women stood up, and it's a true story, and fought for their rights to make as much money as the men did. And Steve Carell's character, I can't remember the real life person, challenged the woman to a tennis match.
Tennis match, yeah.
And it became like the highest paid sports event that ever happened. And I got into an argument with somebody about it.
Highest paid tennis sport or any sport?
Tennis sport,
Okay.
yeah. Or any sport. To be honest, I don't know.
It would have been tennis,
I
I
don't
think,
know what
because
it is.
Yeah.
I think the last one was like Floyd Mayweather
Yeah,
fight or something
that's
like
a big
that.
yeah.
But the argument was well, she should have been, and this was a man I was arguing with, and that's what baffles me, is like, he was saying, well, women should be making as much as men, and my argument was like, well, yes and no. I mean, yeah, I agree in equality, but at the same time too, though, like, men's tennis
It's
or
at a
men's
higher level.
sports draw
Yeah.
more revenue,
Yeah,
and
more
so
advertising.
they're
He-
obviously going to make more money.
It-
And then he said, name 2 female tennis players. I was like, well, Anna Kournikova and Serena Williams. He goes, name 2 male tennis players, and I honestly I couldn't do it. So I was like,
Andrew Agassi,
okay,
Pete
well,
Sampras.
you shot me in the face, I guess. But like, I get it. But my point is that like, I feel like men's sports bring in more money, therefore they can pay their players more.
Because it's at a higher level. And like, if you look at...
Well, I think because I'm a realist.
Well, no, because you look at John McEnroe, right? One of the greatest male tennis players of all time.
Yeah,
He asked what do you think about Serena Williams? And he's like, oh, she's the greatest female tennis player of all time. And then the reporter was like, don't you mean one of the greatest tennis players of all time? And he's like, no. One of the greatest female tennis players of all time, right? And then he got a lot of slack from that, got a lot of hate from that, right? And they were like, you are you gonna apologize about what you said? And he's like, no, I'm just stating facts. Like if you look at the statistics of Serena Williams, her statistics, like the scoring, like all the statistics they do for tennis, right? Her top statistics are not even as good as the top 20 men.
They would have put
the
her at
bottom,
20.
yeah, she would be at the bottom
Yeah.
20 of men.
She would have been in
tennis
27th
players, yeah.
place.
Because just men's it's just their physical body. We're built to like hunt and kill, and
Right.
We're built differently. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
it's just-
that's the same thing with these transgender
Yeah.
guys that are going in. And there's a transgender
wrecking.
MMA fighter,
Yeah.
and she's literally it's a dude who's spent his most of his life as a dude. I'm gonna just keep using the term he. I don't care if this term.
I don't care either.
He spent most of his time he was a linebacker in college. Then he decides he's going to be a female, going to a female sport, and is smashing girls' faces in.
And they're
And they're
allowed.
like,
Breaking
oh
their-
wow,
like,
They're
breaking their skulls,
they're
crushing their skulls.
like smashing their
Yeah,
faces,
like
and
literally.
then all of a sudden, oh, it's fine because he considers himself a female.
Well, there was that rapper. He to prove a point, he went. He registered as a transgender and went in and broke 4 records in women's weightlifting.
Yeah,
and then switched back to being a man. But he did. He wasn't a transgender. But he did it just to prove a point.
It's just the fact, and that's one of the things that pisses me off is the word equality is being thrown around and being played
It's-
as an agenda.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
At the end of the day, we can't see as a society.
It's politics.
As a society, we need to see both jobs or both things or the physical or the mental attributes of each other as equal. That's where we're losing that battle.
It's a very interesting time, like we keep saying almost every podcast, and the fact is we're coming up to a time where women have fought so hard for rights. They fought.
Good night, Caleb.
Good night, Caleb. They fought so hard for rights, and now it's getting to a point where there's still so many people pushing for more rights for women that, like, I'm at a point as a male, I'm like, well, if you guys want all these rights and all these things, then, you know what I mean, then we talk about this, like, there should be no judgment on a woman out there shoveling shit at a farm or shoveling the driveway or shoveling and doing all the male activity things, but and that's okay, but then there should be no discretion or no, like when you guys laugh at me about the maternity leave, we're still not there.
No,
it's
I know.
funny, it's funny,
Yeah,
but
and the
it's
thing
still
is,
not there yet.
but here,
right?
the thing is always that at the
It's
same
still not
time,
there.
you understand that we're just trying to be fun.
No, I understand that, but
this is the same thing we were talking about on
It's
Sunday
only
about
funny
the
'cause it's
bullying
not-
thing, right?
it's only funny because it's not there yet.
Yeah. No, but you're absolutely right. If in some relationships the male is more of a caregiver than the female.
Which we're not.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's absolute truth.
I'm just talking about where it's going. The women have pushed
And-
back so much that now it's going to the
Yes,
extreme of
yes,
now they're having
yes.
this.
I agree.
yeah.
I totally
That's
agree.
exactly
and
it.
I'm a woman, and I'm like kind of at the point where I'm like against women. Like I there was a thing on the news I watched yesterday that I couldn't stop laughing, and like I shouldn't be laughing. It's not funny, but this guy went to the police because his girlfriend beat him up.
Oh, I've had
and
instances
I
how
was
that.
like, that's not funny. I mean, it's not funny. I've had friends that have come to me with like claw marks out of their face because their women went crazy. And what are they going to do? Hit them back? No. And if they do, then they're women abusers and da da. So I understand there's no like safe place for men, but at the same time too, with that being said, when somebody says like, I've been beat up by my girlfriend.
Funny.
I can't. So like we're not there yet. I guess like we're
Yeah,
not there
because
yet. No.
I cannot seriously.
Can't take a guy seriously when he says that.
Yeah.
No, like I feel like strap on up here, man. Like
Well, that's the thing with
So
me
you're
too.
not standing.
I'm
sure-
done.
No, no. Why don't you lean down and like say hello, thank you very
Yeah.
much, and then you
I'm
can
trying.
sit there and then you still can have the conversation, so you're not leaning over
Okay.
us, or we can.
What does it matter?
I'm not-
Yeah, I don't care. I can.
I'm not-
No, but that goes back to like what
Well,
I was
like a
saying.
woman, and can we get another person?
Yeah, no. Tell you what.
Okay.
Just I'll surrender my seat. Becky, have a seat.
Victor,
No.
cut my hair.
Just slide in. We can all fit in.
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
can.
You know what? Actually, what I'm gonna do in the meantime, you guys carry on.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Good idea.
Yeah, we're gonna do the vacuum. Can you sit down? I'll do that.
You're not gonna
No, no,
vacuum.
no.
You're not gonna vacuum right now.
Podcast
right?
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Get
Let's do
get
that
a woman to
after.
vacuum. That'll be perfect.
Nicole.
I'll
See
just
that
get
look?
it
You
closer.
sit there.
See
You
that
don't
look?
move.
You sit there.
She's
Um,
like,
I'll just be off the side. It's okay. See, as a gentleman, I surrendered my chair.
See, and that's the chivalry is a whole new different ball game. I think that is endless.
And that's my problem
and
with
that's pretty sexist,
with
bro. She could have got her own
feminism.
chair. She doesn't need
Yeah,
a
she
chair
does.
from a man.
No, and that's my problem with feminists though, is
Yeah.
that like we're robbing men the ability to be chivalrous. Like
Yeah.
I'll never change. I will open
I'm
the
gonna
door.
tell you something
I'll
so
open
funny
the
that
door for a
happened
lady.
We have to-
I will surrender my chair.
One word of advice. I'm just saying now. We have to wait for everyone to finish our stories.
oh sorry.
Because listening on the outside, is just like everyone is.
Yeah, I know we can do it.
I'm
I
really
get
good.
it. I'm
I'm
new.
new.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was here today and Les had the gardeners like doing this and that to the yard.
Oh, was he Mexican?
And no. And the guy came up on the deck, and me and Nicole were having a drink, and he goes, "Where's your husband's staple gun?" And she goes, "Oh, it's." And she goes, "It's by the barbecue." And I'm like, "This is the problem with me, and this is a problem with me because I would have lost my mind." And I told her this after. I'm like,
I know exactly
"Where's
what
your
you-
husband's staple gun? Like my staple gun's right there, motherfucker."
Yeah,
like,
I knew that's what it is. Yeah.
well,
Where's the staple gun? Just say where's the staple gun?
yeah, but he
Really?
and like he didn't mean it anything by it. And to be honest, I think that's my problem as an
Yeah.
independent female, where I can't
Oh.
allow the smallest thing
Oh.
to get by. Like
Why though? Who cares about a staple gun?
exactly, but that's my point though. But that's not
Yeah.
me, right?
But
Because
the
I'm.
terminology behind it too, though. Like I
Where's
understand.
your husband's
I understand.
Les doesn't care when people are like, "Oh, do you mind if I move your purse?" And it's
No, I mean.
But most of the time it is his personal. We don't know.
Yeah. And neither did Nicole.
it's
Like,
my
Nicole
purse.
didn't
Thank you
care.
very much.
Yeah.
This is
Wait, you know what?
2019,
Hold
sir.
on. One thing that I will say about Les, and I'm not just saying that because Nicole's in the room, but Les has always been that guy that's like, oh no, this Nicole got this for me, or Nicole.
I don't
did
mind
that,
it.
and Nicole did that. He's always been that dude, man.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I don't-
That takes a lot of
Nicole
balls
wiped
to
my
do.
ass this morning.
Pretty much, like I like
Well,
your shirt.
he's worried that Nicole might watch the show at some point.
No, no, he's always done that, right?
So,
and I'm not trying to,
Les.
I'm not trying to give you, I'm not trying to get him points or anything. I'm just saying, like, hey, dude, that's a nice shirt. Yeah, Nicole bought it for me. She picked it out. Like, he's always that dude, man. So, like, oh, good on you, man. Good on you. Good on you.
So you know what? I don't have an
That's the
ego.
best.
I don't care.
So, I hear you don't like sniffing candles, Les.
Let's get home from that podcast. Let's get home from that
I'm just
podcast.
kidding.
The bags right at the door.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you can hear me from here or not, but
Oh, yeah.
while I'm sweeping the floor, because I'm a man,
I'm a
For the
man.
record, I offered, man.
man, woman.
Notice how I didn't.
Oh, no, I know. Your job here is done.
That's right.
Back to the
Just
sandwich
so you
making.
guys know, is that the
Bitch,
reason
make me
why.
drink.
Hey, other people want to talk around here. The reason why, can anyone see me?
Holy, can the man talk for a minute?
Yeah, the man.
I'm gonna
wow.
I'm gonna take off in 5 minutes,
Sure.
and you can shuffle over.
No, don't.
Yeah,
so good.
I'm country on time for me.
Time myself. The reason why that guy probably asked for my staple gun,
It's because he's sexist.
no, because during the afternoon when we needed to get the staple gun, I said to him, I said, let me go get my staple gun. It's in the basement. Then Nicole was getting it because I had my shoes on, and I was like, did you find my staple gun? Did you find my staple gun? And he was standing beside me. So I bet you he wasn't doing it sexily. He's probably just thought that it was my staple gun. So, and that's the thing. What I think a lot of people do. Like, I'm not that bad at it, but I know my wife, Nicole Larga, yes sir, she's really bad at this. Is the fact is like, say you are pulling to a parking lot, and there's a guy that is pulled onto two lines. Like, you know when you have your parking stall and you pull a little bit on the too far to the left line, and then it's like tight parking spot. Like, no one thinks beyond just that moment.
Yeah.
Like, no one thinks that, like, possibly the guy that parked before him was an asshole, and that maybe he had to park a little bit wide because he was yelling at that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that guy. Maybe it was just that he was trying to arrange for his parking, and then you show up and you're like, oh, this guy's a jerk.
It wasn't even him.
It wasn't even him.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe this guy was just saying what he thought was the right thing because I talked about it.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks in the now moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where someone's driving really slow. Maybe they're just out for a regular day.
Maybe they're just enjoying a cruise.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just enjoying those extra.
Or
5 minutes.
maybe they're a young kid that just got their license.
Yeah, or
and
maybe
they're
it's
just
a
learning
new
how to
driver.
drive.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's
Or maybe they're just an
kid
Asian woman
just-
who doesn't know how to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not talking about the Asians like that, but anyways.
I don't know.
Anyway.
How can they be such bad drivers with panoramic vision?
Yeah. I'm not laughing.
That's Victor Mondaka, Mondaca. He works at. If you have any complaints or you want to pick it or any kind of.
But that's a lot of the time. That's a big thing. Is like people forget.
What do you mean by you people? No, I'm just. No, I hear what you're saying because I started what I said by saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off, buddy. It's unfortunately for me, time is of the essence.
Bye.
But I thank you again.
Yeah, take it
I
easy.
appreciate it.
Good to
Bye,
see you.
guys. I always leave with saying, Matthias Mila, I love you.
No, but I started that thing by saying
No,
it's my fault. Like, that's not that guy's fault that happened. It was my fault for being so, like,
Why did
What
that
the
come?
hell is
Why did
that?
that come
Like-
into your head though?
because that's my, but that's on me. I don't know why. Psychologically, I mean, I can't,
Well, I've had,
we
like,
don't
for-
have that much time.
For
like-
example, I've had people come to my house and ask me if my parents are home.
Not in 20 years,
You know? And like,
were they not home? They left you
no,
alone?
they weren't home because I'm at my home. So I've had people ask me if my parents are home, if they can speak to my parents, right? And I'm like, what do you mean?
That's pretty funny.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I do the same thing. I would never at your place.
That's pretty funny
Is your
though.
mom and dad here? I'm no stranger danger. Like, I come and be.
That's pretty funny. But I think that's what people need to learn how to do is to sit and maybe look further than just at the moment of what's really happening. You know, like sometimes it's more than what people think. You know. Yeah.
No, for sure, and that's my thing is that like I feel like I'm a well-rounded individual, and I feel like that was something that I did that was just not. I took things to another level. I mean, I didn't say anything, but I felt a certain way,
Yeah.
and it really. I was like, wow, that's on me. Like I'm not generally. I wouldn't think that I'm generally that person, but instantly,
Yeah.
as soon as he said, like, "Where's your husband?" I was ready to be like, "What you mean? Can't be my fucking."
It can't be my
I got another
yeah,
fucking,
right?
like,
You can't do that kind of shit disturber, right? Like,
Right.
It's like,
But at the same time too, though, like I said, like I stand the line on like equality and like all this other stuff. But yet I didn't give somebody else the benefit of the doubt as to like.
oh, there was one time I brought my car in to the garage. I got into an accident, right? So I brought the car into the garage,
Asian driver and accident.
And then-
What
Was
a
it your
fucking-
fault?
and then no, it wasn't my fault.
See you guys.
And then it was some Mexican, the fucking Mexican. Deadbeat.
Was he running
It was fucking Mexican.
border
He hit me with his fucking lawnmower. Anyways,
We want to talk about that.
Obviously.
but no, like I had my car parked out in the front, right? So I go in and I'm like, oh, I'm here to bring in my car to get serviced. So the guy's like, oh, okay, let's go out and take a look at my car. Take a look at your car. So we go out, and then there was a few cars parked there, but there was this one shitty, like rusted up piece of crap, and the guy automatically went to that car and like was checking it out. Yeah, and then I was like, what do you, like he didn't even ask if that was my car. He just like automatically went to that car. And I was like insulted, like, why did you automatically pick that rust bucket piece of shit? Right? And he was like looking, oh yeah, this and that, and I'm like, my car's over here, man. Like,
You should have let him go.
I drive the 2019 Mercedes right there.
And there was a couple times that happened. Like I was at my work before when I was younger. I had just bought a new truck, and then
Sure, it's a little more.
I went in and I was like telling this guy, oh hey, I just bought a new car. I bought a new truck, right? And he's like, oh yeah. So we go out and he's like checking out this piece of crap like car. And I'm like, that's not my car. I was like, over here. He's like, oh, and he was surprised that I had this car, right? And it was like, wow, like, what makes you
Can I
think?
get a bag off you?
Yeah, like he thought I was like a drug dealer. Yeah. He's like, how did you get this car?
It's
I
funny,
paid
like,
money for it. I work. I'm like, yeah.
to go to like a different side of the story, like, so like we're Métis, obviously. Well, not obviously. We're Métis. It's not obvious, but we
So
are.
you're fake then? Fake,
Yeah.
fake natives then? Okay.
We're
Yeah.
Métis.
We're fake.
And I was at Canadian Tire, and I was looking for, I don't know, an air pump, something.
Yeah.
And I was in the aisle, but I couldn't really find what I wanted, and I needed a specific adapter for something, and I
Yeah.
wasn't sure what it was. So I went to the front and I asked for a sales associate, and they said they'll send somebody. So I went back and I waited,
Yeah.
and there was these two other Métis girls who were more Métis looking than I am,
yeah.
so to speak. And
That's what I was just trying to do.
the clerk came around, and he was a Caucasian. I don't even know how to be
Caucasian, yeah.
about it,
Caucasian, yeah.
and so he came around and said, were you the one that was looking for help? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for this. And these two Métis girls went totally ballistic on me. Like, oh, of course you go to the white girl. You like, whatever, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we've been standing here for 5 minutes before her, whatever. And I turned around and I went, actually, I went and asked for help. Like, I went and asked somebody if they could come give me a hand finding out, like, what I needed to find. But they were so invested in just being angry because they felt that
Yeah.
they were being wrong.
Yeah.
Like-
they're being like racist against them, right?
Well, and they're racist against me, and I'm them. Like, that's the
Yeah.
funny thing. Like, I'm like, you can't be.
But they're being racist against you because they are automatically assuming that you're white, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just funny to me the way that people jump to these. It was a big thing for me today. Like, when
Yeah.
that guy, and obviously Nicole said, like, Nicole didn't even think twice about it. I was like, man, if that was me, I would have lost my marbles. And she's like, why? And I'm like, where's your husband's staple gun? I'd be like, that's my staple gun, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, but you can't see like that's.
No, but you walk
You're kind of
into a
nitpicking at what
situation-
you're gonna be
but the point is
offended
everybody
by.
does it, right? Like,
Yeah.
you get used to certain stereotypes. You get used to certain this
Well,
or
some
certain
things
that.
are like some things don't matter. You know what I mean? Like there's a few things where it's like, you know, like people always think I'm good at math. You know. Aren't you? Yeah, no, I'm sucking shit. at
I
math.
would never think you were good at
I'm
math.
terrible at math.
Maybe because
you
I know you.
know? Yeah, probably, but yeah,
That's funny. You're not good at math, man?
no. Where people think I'm like a computer genius or fucking, you know.
Well, lives with their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they home, by the way, right now?
No, they're not. Yeah.
That's
But-
funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's the funny thing that you guys mentioned that is you know, have you guys seen Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
I've
seen it?
Oh, no.
With Brie Larson.
No, I saw the
Brie Larson?
Avengers.
Like the
Captain Marvel, like the movie that came out, the Marvel movie just before Avengers.
No.
Well, anyways, she's like a social justice warrior kind of thing. So her thing is like, oh, finally women get like a strong female character, and finally, you know, it's about time that women get like a lead role and stuff like that. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, have you not heard of
Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman? Have you not heard of Sigourney Weaver? Have you not heard of
Beyonce?
Sarah Connor? Sarah Connor, or like there's, you know, or even like any other female superhero or female strong character, right?
Yeah, lots.
And then so anyways, so she's like, oh yeah, you know what, there needs to be more diversity in movies and stuff like that. You know what the fucking funny thing is about that is that there are people who are like, oh yeah, you believe in diversity? Well, guess, you know, if you feel so strongly about it, then you should quit being Captain Marvel, and they should hire a gay black woman to become. So they want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Next
there's
level.
yeah, so there's a petition online for her to get fired and for them to hire like a gay black woman to be Captain Marvel. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's when get woke, go broke. That's a saying: get woke, go broke.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
red pill.
No, people just go too far with stuff, right? Like,
Well, it's that's kind of where we're at right now. Is that there's all those like where we had the line where everyone I think we all were okay with is like now get pushed away. I guess we weren't all okay with it. That's why it's getting pushed.
yeah, obviously, yeah.
Well, it's a small minority.
We're all
though.
okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, a majority of us are all okay with it. It's just the small. They're finding anything and everything to be. They're just continually trying to push this agenda of like you
Trying to all inclusive.
It's not like they don't want to be equal. They want to be above. They want to be put on a pedestal. You know what I mean? It's like for example, it's racist for white people to walk their dogs.
Why?
Why? Because you're establishing your dominance that you can take your dog wherever you want and walk him wherever you want.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
getting a
racist,
black
yeah.
dog. I'm gonna walk it everywhere.
Well, then that right there is racist. A white woman walking a black dog.
Obviously,
Whoa.
I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah.
That's
I got a
right.
little,
but that would be-
I got a little nervous when you said that. Actually, I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
you're racist."
That's ridiculous. Like, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the borderline, and that's why I'm saying, like, when that guy said earlier, like, "Where's your husband's staple gun?" I didn't say anything, but my mind went to
mind
this
was there.
super dark place where I was like, if this was my house and somebody said that to me, I went upside down, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe I'm not as neutral as I sometimes think I am. Maybe I am
Well,
sometimes.
maybe not if you thought. If
Well,
you had
that's
those
what I
thoughts.
mean.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sometimes looking for issues, whereas like I kind of go against people who are looking for, I don't know, trouble, so to speak. Like it's like,
Yeah.
just let it be. If you want equal rights, let it be equal. Like don't
Or-
expect special favors.
Yeah,
like,
or
don't-
just
whatever.
that's the thing is like, if you have expectations, you're always gonna be disappointed. You know what I mean? You always expect things from people. You're always gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So-
die alone. That's for sure.
Well, that's the thing. You just have to not give a fuck. Not
Right.
give a fuck and just enjoy.
Not be mad about somebody else's
you can't-
staple
yeah.
gun.
That's why my wife and I are like we used to have like a really big circle of friends when we were younger, but then as we get older, our friends get smaller and smaller and smaller until we're only hanging out with a group of a small like 3 or 4 people, just because
Right.
it just becomes your happiness. It depends on your personal well-being, and when there's drama or there's
Right.
gossip or somebody is just. You gotta separate yourself from that because it starts to affect you. You start to like
For sure.
become that way, right?
No, for sure. Like, I know I disagree with a lot of things a lot of people say, and
Yeah.
therefore I don't talk to those people about
No.
certain things. And I can't say that like any one thing is super important to me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things that are important to me. I have a lot of different networks of friends.
Yeah.
But like I found a place for each network of friend.
Yeah.
Like, whereas, again, I'm glad I said that to Nicole because Nicole is level-minded and equal-grounded. I don't know why I went there again, but if I was with a different friend and I were to say like, oh, your husband's like, she would have like flown off the handle and been like, yeah, what the hell? Like it would have went so sideways.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm going like, why did I even?
Care.
Well, yeah. Like,
Right.
why did I even care?
Why do you
I mean,
care? Yeah. And
sure, he shouldn't have said that.
Well,
but
I mean, at the end of the
I'm
time-
gonna make a huge deal.
Well, no, I mean like it's also context, right? Context is everything. Like he didn't say it to be like, "Hey, little lady, where's
Yeah.
your man's?"
That's
like,
why,
he's
yeah.
like, "Hey, hey, weak woman, where's your man's? Fucking,
Well, yeah, 'cause
where's
we
your
know-
big man staple
Yeah,
gun?"
because we know what a heavy tool a staple gun is. Like,
Why is this? Sorry, but we have a red thing there saying that we're not online. It's not green. How do we change that?
We're not online. It's,
Well, it's online, but it's
Streaming,
not. It says it's red though. Why is that?
but it says online though. Oh no.
Okay, well, we'll leave it then. I guess. We
Well,
are
go, on,
streaming.
go on YouTube then. See.
Well, we're online.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm just confirming, But anyways, yeah, like it's getting all pushed too far nowadays.
It totally.
Everyone should
is.
just chill the fuck out. I think most people don't really give a shit about all this stuff. You
No,
know?
90% of people do not give a shit. It's the small minority that's getting the fucking. They're the
Attention.
complainers, you know? The squeaky wheel is getting the oil.
It's like, so we should be like complaining more? Is that what we should be doing?
No, what we should be doing is people who are complaining about shit and ruining it for everybody else, they're hiding behind their computers. So what they need to be is they need to be. If you're gonna complain about something, everybody has to know like who is this person that's
You gotta blast them.
that's complaining about, you know, whatever bullshit. Then they can see that, like, for example, the lady that was complaining about the Jets whiteout being racist, right?
Yeah.
Holy did she get fucking
I
blasted
actually feel
hard.
bad for her now.
Right?
Like,
She got
yeah.
blasted hard. 99.9% of the people fucking.
And rightfully
It-
so.
Yeah, right? And rightfully so. And that's the thing. That's everybody that does that shit needs to be. A spotlight needs to be put on them so that they can see how retarded they are.
You know what's funny is about that whole thing. I have a couple friends that have like some bars and things like that in the city, whatever. And one of them was he was like promoting and advertising "Make Tuesday Great Again,"
Mhm.
and he was like promoting. He's like, "We're gonna make Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it was," and it was getting popular, super popular.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, somebody
Complained
about this and blew it all up. But they
Yeah.
ended up finding out from like different tweets and like lining them all up. It was the same chick that did the the
No.
whiteout thing.
Yeah, see?
It's just like one person just trying to ruin everyone's
See?
time.
And that's the thing. It's nobody fucking gives a shit. No one. 99% of the people do not give a shit. But it's those few people who feel
it's
that
totally
they
that
need
way.
to fucking be the champion of the fucking.
Right.
You know
of
that
the people.
99% of the people, or I won't say 90, let's say 95% of people don't care, is because there's a lot of things going on with like huge profile people. You could talk about Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, the Clintons, all these things. And if those are matters that people should care about, and people are too busy every day to even care about that, they forget in like a couple weeks. And they don't. So why the hell are they? You know what I mean? So
Said I disagree with you. Why should anybody give a fuck about Bill Cosby? Worry about your own shit in your own yard and your own family and
Well-
your own this. Like, it's too much coverage for too many places, and people are so consumed with like
I don't think
what's
people.
going on 10 million miles away from me.
No, I don't think people
I'm
care
gonna
so
think
much
about it.
about the Bill
Well,
Cosby.
I think a
but-
lot of it is like
Don't
it's
you-
just pop culture. Everybody's always.
But no,
you
not
know,
even pop culture.
Who gives a
pop
fuck
culture.
about the Kardashians? Who gives a fuck about?
Lots of people.
Well,
That's
that's
the
the thing.
That's
Because,
Rambo, but
that's what I mean. It's like it's just pop culture. It's just
Right.
well, let me.
You know?
Okay, maybe this is only I think about this. The reason why I cared about the Bill Cosby case or the Harvey Weinstein case and all these high-profile people is they get away with a lot of things,
Right.
and it's
And
not.
also, it was part of our growing up. We can relate to Bill Cosby because we all grew up watching
Yeah.
the Cosby Show. No.
Yeah, but that's not the reason why I cared about it. I cared about that whole thing, and
Because you might be next from the.
I like how you're like walking out the door, you're walking out my back door.
Throws
talking-
the mic at the back of your head. Boom.
There's a door right beside you, dude. Why don't you go with that one? The reason why I cared about it all was the fact is that this stuff needs to change. Like the Me Too movement, very good. I love this idea to Me Too. Like everyone comes out and tells their story and does other stuff. But like high profile people have been getting away with stuff like this for years. And that doesn't set a good example if these high profile people get to do what they want to do for the rest of society, that they get away with it. So now it sets the example that, well, okay, well I can do this and I'm not going to get punished that bad.
Right.
So it opens up the door for crazy people to think that, well, this guy got away with it and, you know, he didn't get like punished that bad. It's just not right. So I was hoping that, you know, these cases should be handled. The Jesse Smollett case. You hear about that case? We talked about it on the podcast. The guy from Empire, black guy,
Yeah.
staged his own, in Chicago, staged his own beating, claimed that he got beat
Oh
up.
yeah, that guy.
Anyway, he got off with everything. And like he wasted valuable money, valuable time.
Right, but when
Everyone's-
you're into the judicial system, you're not talking anymore about what's right and wrong, right? Like you're talking about people getting caught doing something bad and getting away with it.
No,
at the
I'm
end of
no,
the
no,
day.
no. I'm talking about the fact is that high-profile people get off of everything. And we were talking about the Bill Cosby. Why I cared about these things wasn't because I watched him in the past. It wasn't because anything else. It was the fact is that people need to put these guys on the spot, and they need to get punished. They need to get punished just like any normal human being should get punished, and that should be a fact. Sorry everybody, my dogs are crazy, but they need to get punished just like anyone else gets punished, and they should not have a window of error like, oh, the Jesse Smollett and the Bill Cosby, all these people just get off all this stuff. That's why I vote is that like this might be the first time ever that that a high profile person doesn't get off with it. It doesn't just like, oh, put him off to the side. We'll drown it out with other media.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what they did with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein.
Well, that's what I mean. It's now because these people that do these things need to be put in the spotlight. They need to. The world needs to see who are these people that are complaining about
Yeah.
bullshit. Who are these people that are saying this and that about this is sexist or this is blah blah. Like they're complaining that like the new Avengers movie. There's a stink right now that there's not enough LGBTQ representation in the movie. It's like it's a fucking comic book movie. We don't need to represent every why don't we represent albinos and they didn't get enough representation in the Endgame movie. It's a fuck. Keep your politics out of my entertainment. I don't need to.
That's one thing I hate.
That's the thing. Like, why does it always have to be about that? It doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't, and that's
See,
the problem.
That's a different thing, though, right? Than
That's a
what you're
different thing.
talking
That's
about,
different what I was
because, like, all I have to say is to what you're talking about is that. But the problem is with the system. It's not. So yeah, these people get caught, and then they get away with it because they hire the best lawyers, they hire the best, and they find these loopholes and get this, they get that. Absolutely, you're right. There should be consequences, and so they get caught and their name gets dragged through the press. But 24 hours later, they're released and nothing happens. So why would anything change in society when if you got the money, you make the rules and you get away with it? Why? Like nothing will ever change until certain people start paying for their consequences. Like
That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I watched those cases is because I thought this whole movement with the Me Too thing and all these celebrities standing up that then you would see elite people like elite judges and lawyers and all this stuff saying, you know what? We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
What it is it's just the money and the capitalism. Everything's available. Everything's available when you're that rich. It doesn't matter anymore, and people are smart enough now to understand this. But it's not really fair. I guess fair. It doesn't matter if you have that much money, but it's just not right. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to have a real society where you're trying to battle for equal rights of LGBTQZs, gay people, whatever, all these things, you're battling for all this stuff. But then you have these elite people above everybody just doing whatever the hell they want to do and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Drugging women. You got all these people drugging women. You got people raping women. You got this and that. You got Kevin Spacey, sleeping with touching boys. You have what's the guy who's running for president?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden sniffing his nieces and grabbing her butt and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a fact. I just saw the video. I don't know.
It's not even. They're not even related to him. He's just
It's some
sniffing.
girl.
He's sniffing any child that's in front of him.
It's just creepy. He's
Yeah,
all over the
like
media and like.
gross.
And you know
It's
what I mean? It's
gross.
like-
It's obviously. It's like. It's not like an accusation. There's video evidence of
proof.
him, like
It's proof. It's creepy. Whatever.
touching them in the weird,
He's
in
that
a way
guy-
that you should not be touching.
Yeah, his argument is
Yeah.
like, well, I'm just really friendly.
I'm trying to.
But that's not
no,
normal
no,
shit.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? But that's
anybody that watches that shouldn't be like.
That's not normal.
That's not something you do to somebody's. It's like me meeting your niece for the first time and being like,
Like leaning
"Oh,
on-
hi."
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah, and then
creepy-
kissing her head and shit like.
how do you like your
Yeah.
teeth?
Oh, no.
Well, that's what
Right?
exactly what it should be. But that's the whole thing is that if you want to change anything below, the people above have to want to do that. And they're the ones preaching all this stupidity about like Hollywood promotes, and all these people have a lot of power to promote all these different areas and to divide us and do all this stuff. But then all they do is they make us all fight and battle each other and argue about all this stuff. Well, they just smell a little girl's hair and they drug women for 100 women, and then they have Harvey Weinstein getting off at night because girls showing up for a role, and that's just what we know. You know.
So I just want to say, like, I remember walking into your front door when
Don't say that's anything about this one.
when you were doing this thing, and when Kevin Spacey was on, it was breaking news. Kevin Spacey's been caught for this, that, and everything in Hollywood, da da da. And I literally looked at you and went, "What? Why is this news?" Like, I seriously, that's not surprising to me that people
Well, it's not surprising to
slept
anybody,
their way
you
up
know.
in Hollywood.
There's not surprising. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's not new news. It's been happening for
But
a long time. You know.
Sure, but my thing is that, like, when you're talking about certain examples, like even like Michael Jackson and stuff, the other thing, like, to me, where are the parents when all of this shit is happening? Like, it boils down to like, you have to take a certain amount of responsibility for your family and for your loved ones, and you can't just drop your kid off at a 50-year-old's for a sleepover and go, I never saw this coming.
No, but that's the thing
what
is,
the hell are you thinking,
people
though?
that's the thing is, people
if
are
like Sue
silly.
said, if he picked up your niece and smelt her underwear, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
No, but I agree with you. But we're normal. We're the 90%. We're
Right.
the 85%.
Well,
I'm
it's
saying
all-
for 20 other people in the family to sit there and just go,
Well, it's like
that.
it's like Harvey Weinstein with the whole thing where there was when he got busted, it was like the kid was like 14, went to a party at not Harvey Weinstein, the other guy, Kevin Spacey,
Yeah.
right? He was at a party at Kevin Spacey's house, and then he was in Kevin Spacey's bedroom, and then Kevin Spacey came out in his like bathrobe, right?
And he's like, what?
And then he like picked up the kid and like threw him on the bed. Bro, when I was 14, if some dude tried to pick me up, right, at 30, he would have got fucking.
Well, and why are you standing in some?
Like I would have. That's like past molestation to me, in my opinion.
No,
Like you kind of knew that situation that you. It's like we're talking about Cardi B, where she drugged and robbed the men, right? Like they knew if you're gonna go to a strip club, take a hooker home to the hotel room, you got a good chance that you're gonna get your ass robbed. You know, like you kind of put yourself in that situation, right?
Absolutely. And I agree with the whole thing too. You're saying these people should know that. But what I don't agree with is that just because these people should know that doesn't mean what these people are doing is right. You know what I mean? Like they should.
Yeah, of course.
They're
Absolutely
only doing
doesn't.
it because they're in power and they've gotten away with it for so many years.
Yeah, of course.
And then what happens is after they get caught, nothing. So that's the frustrating thing. Nothing really happens.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's both, right? Like it's they go through this thing, they get through whatever, they get tried, they get whatever, and they get off with nothing. That's totally the whole part of it. I know a lot of police and stuff like that spend months trying to catch the bad guy, and they catch them, and their lawyer gets them off on some loophole
Well, it's
for
like
this,
just
that,
as
and the
small,
other.
right? Oh.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. But as far as it comes to like child molestation or what's going on in Hollywood and stuff like that, like
They know, I get it.
it's not.
Doesn't make it right.
I mean, like McLean and McLean said, you got to give a little head to get ahead, right? Like when you're coming up in Hollywood. No, I'm not trying to say that like it's okay, but like I said when I came in here, I was like, why is this news? Like I always just assumed that's the way that Hollywood
now,
works.
yeah, it totally is. But now it's just like in the limelight now, right? Like because of this,
Right. But my question is where are these people's parents and family and stuff? Like when you're talking about minors and children, like.
Well, it's
and
also
it's so easy to go, well, this person to this.
well, that's the
why
thing.
did
The parents,
you allow it?
the parents are pimping their children out.
That's
right?
what's
Like,
happening.
You look at the pageant moms and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
they're making their
so
children
much-
look like prostitutes, and
It's really
and
weird.
they're like sexualizing their children. Or like you see those, like I never watched those shows, but I've seen like
Yeah.
clips of like
Did you see the
they're
Pretty
like
Woman kid?
yeah, or
Did you
they're
see
like, oh here, drink this. I let my daughter drink fucking like
cocaine.
like I mix Gatorade and sugar so that she's like energetic and stuff. It's like you're drugging your child too, like you know what I mean?
Did you
Well, those
see
people
the
are
Pretty
so
Woman, Mom?
No.
Oh, it was like maybe it was before you guys started paying attention to these pageants. This is like
I don't
a
know
5-year-old
pictures of
girl, you know, Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts,
Yeah.
and a mom at a pageant dressed her daughter up with the blue short skirt
Yeah.
with the buckles
Yeah.
and set her on stage,
Yeah.
and people went nuts.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "This is too far, whatever."
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching, going, "Okay, this is too far."
Well, it's like
You've been gluing eyelashes on your child
Well,
since
it's like
they were 6 months
the
old, but
the drag kids nowadays. They're
Oh.
trying to make it normalized. Have you seen that? The drag kids,
I've seen
right?
it, yeah.
The kids. He's 10 years old.
Yeah.
He's a drag queen.
Yeah.
He's dancing at an adult bar. He's doing fucking burlesque. They're throwing money at him.
Right, and
Right?
in a place where
Yeah,
child
and he's
pornography
doing like
is like a
he's doing pole dancing and shit. Like, how is that not sexualizing a child? Like, how is that not? If you like switch the roles, make that like a 10-year-old girl doing that, people would be losing their shit. But no, because he's a transgender kid. Oh, we're supposed to. That's so awesome that he's like empowering transgender. You know.
No.
You're fucking, you're 8 years old. You don't know who the fuck you are.
The funny thing is that one of the not to go into the conspiracy things, one of the things that the conspiracy are is that they do this transgender thing so that it makes it more almost legal
Yeah.
for these people to do this kind of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they fought so hard for transgender, so now this boy that's a girl
Yeah.
is allowed to dress like that and act sexy and do all that stuff, and now that's a normal thing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Well, they're trying to make. That's what I mean.
Trying to
That's what I
make
said
it
earlier is that they don't want equal rights. What they want is they want to be put on a pedestal. They want to be higher than It's like the gay pride parade, for example. Like, how is it legal, right? How is it legal for you to be going to, like, if you look at, they do, like, there's so much, like, S&M shit at a fucking pride parade, like,
that's weird.
dudes are half
That's
naked,
weird.
they're fucking, like,
That's
in
weird.
leather, and, like, how am I gonna bring my kid, like, if you want respect for
I was
your,
there.
Yeah, you couldn't see it though.
Yeah, if you want respect for something like that,
yeah, you can't have that shit, that's, like,
that's just weird.
right? They have, like, S&M shit,
So-
guys with their dicks hanging
See-
out, and, like,
See, that's a good point. So
Yeah.
that's the thing is that like.
how is that
As a
supposed to
father,
be acceptable in the
So
norm?
you want to support that, and you do. I know you as a person. You don't care whether or not you're trans, gay, well, unidentified as anything.
Mhm.
Whatever you are, you are. I know that about
Mhm.
you. If you whatever, we don't judge people like that. But how do they know that all these people aren't just disgusted in the way that they present those parades and all that stuff? It's nothing against what you are.
Mhm.
It's that when we have, say
There
we do
still has
a-
to be a morality
a Christmas
standard,
parade, you
like-
don't have guys like
Yeah.
doing helicopters.
Well, yeah,
and
exactly.
leather G-strings.
Yeah, yeah.
Christmas would probably be a lot more interesting if you had all that weird shit
I
going
wouldn't.
on.
I would. I'm not taking my kid to the Santa parade if fucking.
Yeah.
So yeah, right.
And you just do the helicopter
Right?
and
Like,
shit.
it's not a pass for you to be you're to
Because
be a
you're
fucking
gay.
pervert. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. It's
That's a really
disgusting.
valid
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
That why is it a free pass to act like that
Yeah.
and not get Crutens? What do you say, Crutens?
Chris.
Not Crutens.
Crucified.
No, whichever it is. They're all good enough.
Yeah.
But why is that a free pass? That's weird. That society's accepted that to allow people to do things like that. And it's
Well, that's the
okay.
thing. It's like there's so much like
I'm like literally the only one in this camera, and it's weird.
Oh, sorry.
when the identity politics where it's like they had to cancel the gay parade, the gay pride day because drag queens are offensive to transgender people.
Okay, so,
yeah. So it's like yeah.
check this
Yeah,
out.
like now it's like backfiring on themselves.
So I was just
Crazy.
told that if you are a gay person of authority, so a police officer
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
you are not welcome at the gay pride
Really?
parade.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're saying that you're not.
So people who are like, give us freedom, give us
Yeah.
this, but you're not allowed.
Yeah, if you're they're
Yep.
saying that police aren't allowed at the gay pride parades.
What do you mean? Like police in general?
Yeah, police cops in general. Yeah.
But there are some gay police officers. I know 2 of them right off the
See,
top of my
that's
head.
kind of crazy, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
say-
the thing. It gets
But
it
that's
gets to the
the
point
whole
where it's like,
situation.
But there's a bunch of guys
Yeah.
dressed up as police
Yeah.
officers with doing this.
Yeah, have you ever seen the YMCA? Anybody ever heard of the Village People? Like, you
Yeah.
you can't ask for everybody to be free and everybody to be local, and then turn around and say,
well,
you
that's the
can't
thing.
have-
Like, how are you protecting a certain group of people, right? When you're protecting one group of people, then you're denying another group of people
Right.
protection, right?
Right.
You know.
That's the other thing too. Is like, so these people don't want the police there.
They don't want drag queens there
They don't
because
want
it's
anyone there.
offensive to actual transgenders.
But then if something bad happened to these people, who do they phone?
Exactly.
They have to phone the police.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know how much
I don't
facts
know.
it is, but I'm sure
The
that's
cowboy and the
sure
sheriff.
that's
Who
a
else is
thing.
in the Village People? I don't know.
I'm sure that's a real thing. But that's crazy.
Cowboy, the Métis,
No, it is crazy. Like, you can't.
Métis.
No, but like you can't say I want. Like,
That's the thing. You
freedom
can't
for
have
all, like,
you can't
this,
have
that, and the other
special
thing.
protection and be like
Individual.
Right.
yeah. It's the same thing as like there's a thing right now too where it's like there's feminists, right?
Yeah.
But then they're beefing now because there's feminist groups that are letting transgender men into the feminism,
Whoa.
and then there's the feminism who are like, no, they can't because
They're men.
they're men. So now they're
Now the feminism.
now they're like beefing against each other because there's like now men are coming in and taking over the
Feminist
feminism.
thing.
It's like same thing as like
Maybe this is all an act of war.
well, it's like there's that meme.
Totally. Doesn't it
what's
say
that
in the
Jenner?
House
What's
of
that
Love,
one?
Kill ourselves.
Jenner.
Bruce.
Jenner. Isn't it funny that Bruce Jenner Caitlyn Jenner
Yeah.
won Woman of the Year? Like a man won Woman of the Year.
Took it over.
Yeah, right?
And now we're gonna have in like 100 years
Yeah.
an argument how the trans
Yeah.
guys are taking over everyone's thing.
I mean, when did that come to be? Like, you know, transsexual, I remember that. What happened?
Transsexual is
Yeah.
only recent though.
No.
But there's also like there's transracial. Have you
They're,
heard
they're
that?
fucking
People who
There now there's
identify-
like trans alien where people like identify as fucking being an alien.
There is a thing called transabled. People who feel like there was
Disabled,
actually a
right?
documentary
Yeah.
of a person who poured Javex in
Yeah.
their eyes
Yeah.
because
So
they
they could be
felt like
blind.
they identified as a blind person.
Yeah.
That is the most ridiculous shit. Like,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, my opinion is, we are all people.
Yeah.
We're all the same. Get it together.
Yeah.
Stop asking for equal rights,
Yeah.
but expecting special treatment.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
It's
Like,
frustrating.
That's the thing. I feel like we live and let. It's fine. You do you, but don't impose on my life. You know, don't. You can't like there's in Toronto this dad. He got fined $10,000 because he labeled his 8-year-old daughter he refuses to call his 8-year-old daughter a he.
But that's just a mental
You
disability.
know what I mean? Like at 8 years old, how is the government telling you how to treat your kid? How to like
Right.
if my kid like if your kid thinks they're a fucking dinosaur when they're 8 years old,
Right.
Is that a lot? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No, but like there's a difference too, though, right? Like where my kids have done things where I'm not always like, then that's what you'll be, like But at the same time too, I'm like, cool. Let's think about some other things though along.
Well,
the way.
it's
right?
like
you don't hammer it, and you don't also jump on board being like, let's start a riot because you're gonna be a dinosaur. Like you're not a dinosaur.
well, it's the same thing. It's like my daughter when she was younger, she thought she was a horse.
Can you sit in this chair? Because
Right.
I don't want to be on TV.
My daughter, she thought she was a horse.
There.
Yeah.
She wanted to be a horse.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Let her be a horse.
that's fine. You could be a horse, but you know what? Horses don't eat French fries.
No. And lions eat
Horses don't sleep in the bed. They don't sleep in a bed. So you want to be a horse? This is what you're gonna eat.
So you
And then suddenly she's not a horse anymore, right? You know what I mean?
That's
Well, but
funny.
that's
So-
the same parents, though. That's the difference.
Right. So
Oh.
even if you like, if my kid decided that she wanted to be a boy, oh, that's fine, whatever. But
But then you're already a bad parent for
No, but the
saying
thing
that.
is this is you can't like be. The thing is, kids see that I'm getting benefits. If I
Yeah.
pretend to be a girl, now I'm getting special treatment. Now I'm getting extra things. So I'm gonna pretend. Meanwhile, like you think
Yeah.
about like the statistics is like
The thing is too though is the statistics are you're gonna get some benefits, but when they're so young and they're doing
They
things
don't know
at a
what the
young
fuck
age,
they
don't
are
know
when
what
they're
they
so young.
want. So that's the problem is that
No.
they did it at an older age. They did it at an age where they can make their own decisions. Fine, do what you want. When you're so young, like there's a lot of disadvantages of doing something like that too.
Well, that's the thing. Like for example, in my wife's culture, she's Filipino. In my wife's culture, they pierce the kids' ears at a young age, as babies. They pierce both the ears, and I said, we're not gonna do that. I'm not doing any kind of modification to my kid, unless they have to decide whether or not they want earrings or whatever, And that's what it is for me. It's like you can't
Yeah, well,
push that, right?
that's your own thing,
because
right?
as when they're young, you mold them to what, but you don't like, you're not like a dick about it, right? If my kid's like a tomboy, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, you gotta play with Barbies, you gotta be blah
Yeah,
blah
of
blah,
course.
But at the same time, you're not gonna pretend that they're a girl or they're a boy. You can't pretend that because in their mind, that's just like, if your kid's gay, they're gay. It doesn't matter. Who cares if they're gay? But you can't reinforce that by giving them. Oh, because some parents want their kids to be transgender.
That's
right?
the thing. Is
They're
some
like,
people want the attention.
yeah, like
It's a very weird time. You know what I mean? It's a very weird time. It's like we're not anybody to tell anyone to be a certain way or like we can't do that. We can
Well, that's
tell
the
our
thing. That's
opinions.
90% of people in the world don't give a fuck.
We don't care. We don't care about any of that
But
stuff.
when you start enforcing it and when you start like making laws,
And the other side starts
stating
telling
it,
us that we
yeah.
have to do this and this.
yeah,
and
you
this.
have to do this and that. And you have telling me how I should raise my kids, how I should
Yeah.
do this and that. And then that's when you gotta be no, fuck off.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then like it's the other side too is like where does it stop? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so now someone wants to be like you're saying wants to be identified as a horse.
Yeah.
So where does that stop?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where
So
does-
now we have to all say nay when we walk nay, and talk to that person like that.
Well,
What
isn't
if I
it?
missed it? I went to the bathroom, but it's the same thing as like there was a news reporter that did a bit on it, and she was saying like if a adult male decides that he identifies as a 5-year-old child, should
And
he
there
be
is,
allowed to attend
and there's
kindergarten?
a dude.
That's the problem.
There's a guy. He said he identifies as.
Well, there's a baby. There's
There's a guy. He said he identifies as a 6-year-old girl, and this dude's like 40 years old, right?
That's weird.
And then this couple, they're adopting him as an 8-year-old, and they themselves have a real
8-year-old.
like a young girl, and they're raising them together, and it's like, whoa, that is this guy is he's 40-year-old man, and he's trying to pretend that he's like a 6-year-old, 8-year-old girl, and he's playing with this other 6-year-old girl. That is like. The FBI needs to fucking
How do you invite
investigate
them
this
to your
shit.
house?
Because the parents-
Whose issue is that, right?
the parents,
It's the parents
yeah.
again.
It's the parents' fault.
But the
That's
thing
it,
is,
it's always the parents.
they're passing it off like it's okay, it's cool.
But
You
yeah,
know,
but
right? They did a little like episode on Vice about them, like, oh, it's this is cool how this guy is pretending to be a fucking 6-year-old girl. Like, no, that guy is a fucking perv, and
Well,
he's
yeah.
and he's
It's
pretending
definitely
to be.
not right. This is where it gets scary. Is the
Yeah,
fact that
man.
people like that. It gets scary for the fact is case. So there's two ways. So there actually is people with mental illnesses or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
They
There's
actually
people that have body dysmorphia. There's people,
people like that.
people who like we were talking about earlier. People, the lady who thought she identified as a blind person. You know? There's people who they try to get their legs amputated because they identified as a fucking.
So there's
Transabled.
people like that. But the thing is,
And then
when it becomes an issue to you guys, like those people can do what they want. I don't care. They can identify everyone can do whatever they want. But when it becomes a safety issue for my family, my nieces, my things where like a 40-year-old is getting accepted into being a woman or a 6-year-old kindergarten student, and he's going to the bathrooms with kids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when they start having, transgender at the swimming pool, when a grown ass man can go in and change with your 6-year-old, 8-year-old daughter in the women's change room.
But what it is,
how does that even?
The benefit of this thing is to change everything for the minority, which is whatever. You got to do something. I don't know how you fix this, but there's obviously some people that are messed up and that actually do that. But the problem is that it opens up so many doors for people that are just fucking weird dudes.
Well, that's the thing. This dude got arrested, and he said, "Oh no, I'm transgender." So they put him in a women's jail. And then he ended up raping 3 women in the jail, right? Because he said he was transgender. So they put him in there.
You can't judge all transgender people based on that one guy.
Yeah, but that's the line where how do you judge who is who and what is what?
So new.
Right?
It's
like we went back to the sports, for example. There's a thing right now. There's high school girls. They're in track and field. They're competing against trans, and they're like. Everybody knows who's gonna win. They're breaking records. They're destroying, right? And they're like, at some point, it's gonna be high school girls watching all transgender people compete because they're high school. They're trying to get scholarships. They're trying to get things for school, and then they gotta compete against a fucking big black dude that was a fucking
transgender.
Yeah, as transgender. They have no chance of defeating them. No chance. Now they're losing scholarships for track and field that they've been working towards their whole life, right? Now they're being called, homophobes or, meanwhile they have no chance of beating these girls. Like they join and they're destroying records. So
I think that's the extreme, though. I think that eventually there will be.
Well, maybe there should be a separate division for
transgender division.
Yeah, there should be a transgender division. Yeah,
there'll be transgender men.
But there isn't.
But
at some point, it's going to be all transgender.
Well, no, they
if you're transgender, then you're cutting them separate, right?
You are,
yeah.
They are separate.
No, but then you're going to forget about that.
No, because you have people with Special Olympics, and you have people that are.
Yeah, and you have people in Special Olympics that are trying to get into regular Olympics because I lost my leg. No, it's happening.
That girl, the runner.
It was a guy. But just because I lost my leg doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to compete. Like. It's always going to continue, and it's going to snowball. It's going to get bigger until eventually we all just kill each other. Like it's just going to.
Well, that's the thing. There's some point we need to like draw a line and be like, no, that's not happening. It's
How old are your kids?
My kids are 11 and 8.
Okay, so my kids are a little bit older, and I'll tell you, like the first time that I actually started to. I don't want to say get angry, but like started to pay attention was Liam was in the 2nd grade and now he's in grade 10 and he's in grade 9, sorry, and he told me that
No, there's 3 here. 3 on
No one, you guys aren't sitting in the screen.
Oh, I am anyway.
And he told me that he had to go into the hall to say the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And he goes, we're not allowed to say it in the class. And I go, why? Because there's 2 kids in the class who don't believe in it. And I was like, what? I'm like, so you got to go into the hallway.
Yeah, so you're in fucking Canada. Canada is a Christian fucking country, so.
I'm sorry. I don't give a shit if it's Christian, if it's that. I grew up Protestant. I sang "O Canada." I sang the Lord's Prayer. I sang "God Save Our Queen." I read the Lord's Prayer. I did all this shit. I took fluoride. I did like whatever, everything we were told to do because those were the standards of school. And now my kids are in school, and I'm constantly serious. Well, not anymore. Now they're old enough that I'm like, well, whatever. I mean, it is the way it is. But when they were younger and everything started to change, like I really was sitting there going. I'm sorry, what? So you're sent to the hall because 2 other kids don't want to say the Lord's Prayer? Like to me, like that is just absolute insanity.
Yeah, that to me, I find that it's for me, for example, when my family came to Canada, my parents were very much like, you know, you gotta go to church, you gotta, you know, we're in a new country now, so we have to, what's the word, like adapt. They're not gonna change for us, but we have to learn, you know. So I went to a Mennonite church, you know, did all that because, right, you know, but now they're coming here now. They want to change it so that we have to adapt to them as opposed to.
But because
you know,
we do, that's the problem.
That's because there's these fucking bleeding heart people.
If you were to say,
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, for example, one of my daughters, one of her classmates was bugging her about this kid liking her. Right? She was like, oh, and she's like, oh, I can't stand. He's always bugging me about like this guy liking me or like you like this guy. You know, like just teasing, right? And I go to her. You know what you say to him? You go, why are you jealous? Do you like him? Are you gay? You know, are you gay? And then she said that to him, and then there was a big stink because one of the kids got offended because I guess he's gay or he's transgender, and he got offended that my daughter was using like, or are you gay? Like why are you jealous because you like him? You know, and then I was like, oh, fuck.
I'm not I'm all for. I think that being like an elementary teacher or whatever, like kids are the meanest fucking people in the world.
Yeah.
If kids could rule the world, honestly, I feel like we'd be top notch. Like they are diehard, reckless. Like they're just go for the throat. They don't even care what they're saying. They'll just destroy you.
Yeah.
And Liam was in like the 2nd grade.
Yeah.
And I got a call. Liam was suspended for 2 days for using racial slurs.
Oh yeah.
So I'm driving to Liam's school thinking to myself, like, oh my god, like I mean, maybe in jokes and stuff amongst other adults, maybe he overheard something, but for the most part, like, I'm not racist. I don't give a shit who you are, where you are, just be normal and whatever. And so we sit down and, yeah, you know, we have zero tolerance policy for racism, and I'm thinking, like, absolutely, I totally agree. Like, I'm divorced, so I don't know what's going on over there, but I also have faith that that's not happening over there either. So I don't know where he got this from. Yeah. So we're leaving the principal's office, and I just go back for a quick second. I'm like, sorry, it was never brought up. I'm just wondering, like, what did he say? And like, you know, you're thinking like the worst shit. Like when your kid gets called in, you're thinking the worst shit ever. And I said to the principal, sorry, what did he say? And she goes, well, he called a darker child on the playground chocolate cake. This is a 2nd grade student. So for me, it's everybody that's creating these issues. Like, it's fair for a child to call somebody out because they look different. It's like calling a white redheaded kid freckleface. It's like calling a whatever. Like, so I was actually proud of that. I took the suspension as like a cool. I'm glad that's what my kids said.
You know, let's say like you don't get to pick your nicknames, you know. That's the thing. So.
That's what I'm saying. Though. That's not a racial slur. That's a kid noticing something different about another kid and calling it out. And to be suspended for racial slurs, like to me, I'm like, you're causing racism by doing that. You're just
making it. Yeah, you're creating the problem.
Yeah. You got dark hair and you're called brownie or blondie or whatever. Like kids are simple, but they're also what do you call it? They notice stuff like about other kids. They're observant.
Or they're just.
That's not racist.
Yeah, they're not being malicious about it.
No. Kids are innocent.
It's like you walked to the kid and went, "What up, motherfucking like N-word, like da da da, like whatever." Like he didn't like nothing.
Think he a gun and stuff.
Well, no, but like I'm just saying, like nothing horrible happened for the way that it got blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. All I know is that
things are getting so shit crazy. I don't want to be in this chair.
No, we have to be here somewhere.
You be in this chair. Okay. Well, no, because I'm just sitting in the chair by myself. You sit in the chair. It's your podcast. You're the star.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm the star.
You're the man.
All I know is that the question that needs to be asked as well is that is there a possible chance that I always use this analogy. So there's a guy that comes into a car dealership, and he asks, is like, well, I want a car. I don't need Bluetooth. I don't need like a USB hookup. I don't need stereo controls. I don't need anything. All I need is like a tape deck, and I need a radio. I need AM, and I need all this stuff because I don't need to know. I don't know all this stuff. I don't need all this stuff. We could be the generation now looking back and looking at this stuff, going like we're so judgmental of it. And it's wrong and it's not right. But maybe as the younger generation gets older, like this is already here. No matter what, we can't change it. Mm-hmm. So we just can't see what all we can do is be negative about it. Maybe there's a huge benefit in the end about this stuff. Because we're just the old school way of thinking that this is crazy how you have all these different people, like all these genders and all these things. Like, we can't see any positive stuff about it.
We just want the basic protocol.
We want the basic. We want the base unit. We don't want the MP3. We don't want the USB. We don't want the anything else to change in the system.
You know, would be a great person to talk about this. Drop 30 grand cash on a brand new car, but he wants nothing. He wants nothing in it.
That's what I'm saying. Is that we're just the old school mentality. The way that it is not changing. It's
but
only
we're
going
not the old school mentality. We want the bells and whistles.
No, but we want the bells and whistles in products. We don't want the bells and whistles in in genders in life.
Right. No,
we're happy the way it is. But that's our. I'm just playing a little other way. It's like maybe we're just so used to it a certain way that we can't accept that these changes are happening. They're happening no matter what. We can't stop them.
I don't know. I think people, like, my opinion is people are just being too ridiculous about what's going on. I feel like you're right in the sense that, like, some people can't process what's happening, so...
Well, the kids aren't saying that. The younger generation isn't saying that. But they don't know shit.
Depends on you ask. Liam lost his phone 2 months ago, and he just told me last week that he's never been happier. He's never done better in school. He's never been slept better. He's never been more focused. He doesn't even want another phone.
How old is he?
15.
But does he have a phone? Does he take his phone back?
Oh no, he broke it.
But you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, I understand what you're saying. There's he might be the 1 out of 10. Majority still want the phone.
No, for sure. But I'm just
He's
just saying
one.
everybody doesn't feel like screw it all and let's get rid of it. I feel like it's just managing.
We're just saying maybe we're the outcasts. Maybe we're the ones that can't see. We're seeing the old school way.
No, you know what it is? We're the majority is what it is.
What do you mean we're the majority?
We're the majority.
Majority.
We're how everybody feels. Most people feel. But it's those that are making us think about it, that are willing to, like, write fucking articles, like we.
No, but let's just say, like, what if the possibility that, so we're the way majority people feel, but what if the way majority people feel isn't the right way?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that maybe we're the old school mentality.
I mean,
maybe the other people are the ones that are in tune and intelligent. And
yeah, but I mean, it's what, to me, it's what makes sense is what matters.
But okay, so this is the analogy I use. So a guy, a 70-year-old man comes in to buy a car.
Yeah.
He looks at, I'm a sales guy, he looks at me and goes, you know what, I don't need a USB hookup. I don't need Bluetooth. All I want is a tape deck and a steering wheel and a good car that runs.
Yeah.
You get a new generation person that walks in and goes, I need Bluetooth, I need all these things, I need all the new tech stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we're looking at the situation that, about transgender, all this stuff, and going, well, this doesn't fit us. Maybe we're that 70-year-old in today's age, though that 70-year-old is different now. You know what I mean? Like, things are moving faster. So we're looking at going, like, this is crap. Like, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do that? You know what I mean? And maybe we can't see past it.
That's the thing, though. Like, okay, we'll use that analogy. I need Bluetooth. I need USBs. I need satellite, this and that. Well, guess what? Because you need that, now you can't just take it to just any mechanic to fix it. You got to go to a specialized garage that can fix, the USB, the self-driving. You can't just go to fucking, you can't just go to some, now this shit is like, when it's broken, it takes extra shit to fix it, right? You know what I mean?
What does that matter?
Well, what that matters is now it's harder for everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I was right out there.
right now it's harder for, you're just making things more difficult, right? You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, like, whether or not it's more difficult or less difficult, the Bluetooth, the satellite, all those options still came, and they still sold, and they're still popular today.
Yeah, but you know what? But this is the thing. It's not Bluetooth. It's not satellite. It's fucking.
That's a good point.
It's
something that's been around for.
No,
around.
No. It's. Can I get I don't know. Can I get fucking LED blinking lights under my under my car? You know what I mean? It's like shit that's not necessary. It's extra shit that's not necessary.
So we have somebody online saying something, and I can't see
On YouTube, right?
On Twitch.
On Twitch.
We have 6 or 7 people, and we
Yeah.
can't see it because we're offline here somehow. Why are we offline?
Are we off?
Yeah, it says red offline. Sorry guys, I was just doing a test run here. Oh, I know what's going on. Sorry everybody. Right here, look at this. Sorry.
But we're on though, right?
Yeah, we're on. So I'm a younger person and I cannot see any positives about that stuff. So Kay Nielsen, so what do you mean by you can't see any positive about that stuff? Does that mean like
It doesn't benefit us, right? And that's
how
what I'm trying to say.
Let's go. Let's ask Kay Nielsen. How old are you? You know, like how old are you and why can't you see benefits? You can't see benefits in which way? And we'll wait for a response. We have a delay, so. But yeah, like. So obviously you heard the last comment I was making. I didn't read this.
For college, what is the most important historical event in written history? That's a tough one, man. Most important event in written history?
Yeah.
I would say probably the I would say the Declaration of Independence. Right? Everybody has the right to, this and that.
I read it.
I'm a 20-year-old college student, and I'm not able to understand the positives of giving the small minority their way when it's something so radical. 100%. I totally agree with you. That's the thing.
It's interesting from a 20-year-old.
That's the thing.
That. I appreciate that, and you're probably right. I was just trying to give the benefit of the doubt that maybe we just can't see the other side of it.
Well, that's the thing. When you're listening to the small minority, you're only giving
A small percentage.
a small percentage benefits. You know what I mean? Like the whole transgender using any bathroom they want. You know what happens? That's a small percentage of dudes that are gonna go into the women's bathroom. Like I'm as a father of 2 girls. No way I am comfortable with my daughters going into like a movie theater bathroom with a 40-year-old man who is a transgender. Because
I don't.
Because there's already been situations where somebody can just pretend
That's what I mean.
to be a transgender, right? Yeah.
And all the people, it only gives the minority the right to do weird things. So go ahead.
In my area, a lot of people think my way. Maybe it's because I'm from a small town in Minnesota and not around those kind of people often. No, it's not that. That's not the case at all. I'll tell you right now.
The majority think that.
I think the majority of the world feels that way, but a lot of people don't want to say anything because if you say anything, then instantly you're transphobe or instantly you're homophobe or you're already labeled that. And there's so many people who are far left that are willing to jump on you. Like they're really radical extremists,
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't want to be in that limelight, but when it comes down to it, there's some point where you have to like put your foot down and be like, why do I have to accommodate this or that? You know,
it's kind of messed up actually. Is that like people are put into corners and people are put in a certain way that they can't speak their mind, they can't feel anything.
Yeah, because
if you go like a certain way, it's kind of like, you know, when you go down to the left and right. If you break it down, like, because that's what the American politics is, left, right?
Yeah.
Left, right.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because the right are considered more conservative.
Oh, that's the conservative part. Yeah.
It is, right? So now you have conservative people that want to work hard. They want to just live their lives. They want to go.
Well, they have Christian values.
Christian values, all these
they're
things.
generally
right?
Christian people, right?
But when the left was designed, it's kind of funny. The left was designed with the ability to adapt to anything. So it leaves the range like wide open. Like that's how it's structured right as of maybe today. So when like there should be no, it should be not that like conservative people. Like I'm considered conservative, like probably conservative liberal. I don't even know if this exists or not.
No.
Like I'm okay with people working hard.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm more. The thing is, I used to consider myself a liberal, where I believe everybody should live in peace. Everybody should be able to have, you know, basic necessities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because there's these people that are ultra liberal, they're so far left that it pushes me to the right.
Right.
You know, it makes me look like I'm a Nazi. It makes me look like I'm a fucking racist. It makes me look like I'm fucking homophobic. Meanwhile, because they don't want, they're like, they don't want to hear. They just think they're right.
Right.
They don't want to like hear facts. They don't want to have a debate. They don't want to have a conversation, you know.
Right.
They just want to shut you down. They don't want, you know.
We have Beck, so you know we have Kay Nielsen on, and from Minnesota, and he's a young kid, and he's supporting basically. I was arguing the other side, but he's supporting the side saying that.
And I agree with that. Like everything he's saying, I'm like, no, I totally agree. I think that the difference is that like if you get 300 people in a room, and you get 10 people that are like, oh yeah, fuck these guys, and they're like, yeah, fuck these guys, and like, yeah, fuck, and you get 10 people out of 300 people who are willing to band together, where you've got the other, you know, 290 people going, hey, whatever, man, we're all here just to live together and let's just get along.
The 10 will get hurt.
The 10 people are going to be the people that are going, no, fuck, and everybody else is spending time going, like the first, let's say, 30 people they talk to are going, no, that's not what we mean. Like we're just saying equal. The this, that,
10 will get hurt faster.
The 10 are going to get, I feel like, yeah, I guess, but, hurt.
No, heard. They'll get heard by everybody else.
No, that's what I'm saying, is that when 10 people can band together out of that many people, and one person stands up on a countertop and says, hey, listen, and then, you know what, for the most part, the 290 people that are kind of realistic are going to go, all right, man, that's cool, I hear what you're saying.
Well,
whereas, like, that's not the way to be. Like,
that's the thing, it's group rights is trumping personal rights. Trumping personal rights.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, like if a group of people say, like for example, I'm religious, I'm Christian. There was a case where the guy was a baker, and he didn't want to bake same-sex couple cake because it's against his Christian beliefs, right? They took him to court. They sued him. He got fined, right? You know. So you could go to another baker. If he doesn't want to bake your fucking cake, there's 50 other bakers.
Go somewhere else.
Right? But no, they had to make a big stink. Oh, you know.
Jay Nelson says, in my opinion, the right is more accepting group. Agreed.
Well, there it is. 100%.
Anyone fits in.
Yeah.
The left are the side. The left are the side that voted to keep slavery in the U.S. Remember? Yeah, we know that. But the fact is that.
Well, that's the thing. Is like it goes back to what I said earlier. Is that there's such an extreme left that everybody else is on the right.
That's what I mean.
Even middle people, people.
That's right.
I believe people should have universal health care. I believe, that there should be free college, and stuff like that. That's left-leaning thinking,
Yeah, those left, yeah.
right?
I agree.
But,
That the problem is
Yeah.
the way they set it up is the left ideology.
but it's never good enough. It's,
the left,
it's always
left ideology is like the free way of thinking. When for some reason you have to think like, in these ways. And
Well,
it's
you
not-
have to
it's
think
not-
of like the group.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
I'm saying the way it's set up is either you think this way, which is like the right, which is conservative, or then you go far right, and then you're a Nazi, or you think the left way, where like everybody filters in and everything can happen, and it doesn't matter. Like we'll take the trans, we'll take the gay. But the thing is, the conservative people, I really don't think we care about anything else.
Well,
I don't care.
that's the thing is the conservative people.
There's a
are-
lot of conservative gays. There's a lot of conservative
Yeah,
trans.
that's the thing is they don't want.
They bunch them in.
Yeah, some conservative people just want freedom of speech.
We all do, yeah.
Freedom of this and that.
We want our personal
being
rights.
to
Right, but
say
you should
what
be
we
able
want.
to say,
Yeah, but you
I
can't.
think it should be this way.
Yeah, yeah.
And when it's not that way,
Yeah.
then you should be able to go, all right.
See, that's the problem, though, because we are that way.
Right.
I think, or not we. I will say myself.
No.
I'm
No,
more
but it's
conservative.
true.
We are like everyone. Be yourself. Everyone work yourself and do what you got to do for you. And then all of a sudden, like we support that way. And then all of a sudden, you get attacked because you're not supposed to be really thinking.
Well, it's
that
like-
way.
And that's the thing is that the people that want freedom of speech attack you for your freedom of speech. That's the problem. Is that people that say, we want to speak, and then they speak, and then you disagree with
That's
them,
what I'm saying.
and then they're like,
That's what I'm
"Hey,"
saying. That's
like,
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Like,
We're like, you
well-
be gay, you do whatever you want to do.
yeah.
Whatever you want, but then all of a sudden they're like, we want freedom, we want all this stuff. You guys are doing all, and then it just starts a big, huge argument, and it's stupid.
Yeah, no, and that's what's, and it's and I agree with you. Like that's what's frustrating is that like you're
Anything
one of the
they say-
people that stands behind the.
Well, that's the thing.
say what you gotta
Anytime you
do
say
what you gotta do.
anything that opposes the extreme left, their go-to is you're racist,
Racist.
you're
Right.
homophobic.
But the funny thing
you
is,
know.
that
But I
the
think that's-
majority of people
but I think-
agrees with what we're saying.
Oh, yeah.
and
Exactly
it's that
right.
Yeah.
small
We're
minority.
we're the normal people.
that
Yeah.
they
It's
will
just-
kick and scream and
Yeah.
like you're this, you're that,
Yeah.
da, 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 whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's that typical saying, like,
Yeah.
oh, if you're ever losing an argument,
Yeah.
correct somebody on their grammar.
Yeah.
Like it's the exact same thing. Like it's like you can
It's a
listen,
defense
you
thing.
can this, you can that. I support everybody for everything they want to
Their-
be
their
ever.
rights to
but
be
when
able to-
you
yeah.
start being ridiculous, I'll start swinging back. I'm not like don't mistake kindness for weakness, right? Like I
Right.
agree. We should all have our own right to this. We should all have our
Kim
own right to
Wilson,
that.
if you say anything against
That's
it,
what I'm-
you get targeted by words that are racist, homophobic in today's world. The world can completely destroy someone's career or social life. I don't know. If you
Can.
saw this, so I thought I would recommend it. Yeah, no, exactly. I appreciate it. What's up? What's going on? I agree with that, you guys. I am a racist, homophobe. I have a great career. I am a racist, homophobic. I have a great career. That's hilarious. Well, whatever. I allow anybody to chime in and tell their opinions. I'm respectful to everyone, though. That's good.
I don't.
That's
I think
good.
you're-
Whatever.
Oh, well,
Whatever.
if you're respectful, then I.
Well, whatever you want to do is you, man. But you know what I mean. Like, obviously, if you're allowing everybody to chime in, then it is what it is. Whatever. How do you describe racist, though? What are you
Well, no,
racist
but, like,
against?
as long as you're not shoving it down people's throats, you can feel however you want.
You're allowed. It's
But-
a free world, man. So
I
this is
don't
the comment we get.
I
The next
don't know.
comment we got Anna. What is it? Anna abortion. Another abortion. Is that what you're trying to say? It says that I am racist, homophobe. I have a great career. I say what I want, and I'm respectful to everyone, though. And then it says what? Yeah, there are a way to go about things. Everyone has a right to do what they want to do, but also have a great right to disagree with the decision. Absolutely. I don't really give a fuck.
Absolutely, but you
Well,
can't
that's the thing,
start
really.
that thing by saying I'm a racist and a this and that.
Well,
He
that's
can
the
do
thing,
whatever he
right?
wants.
Yeah, but then you're
It's
not.
a free world.
But then you're not. Then you're not thinking freely. You're still thinking
What's freely?
the wrong way.
He's just telling us, stating that he thinks one way. I don't support anything that he probably would say.
No.
Maybe,
if
maybe.
you're saying you're a racist,
No, that's the
and
thing,
then
I-
you're saying I think that
Let's
everybody
read it. No,
should
he
be
read it
free as
here.
that.
Yeah, there are ways to go. Okay, we read that already. I wouldn't use words like racist. Okay, so he's agreeing with you. He said this guy's saying I wouldn't agree with the racist and describing yourself and then saying
Well,
respectful things against each other. I agreed with you, K. Nelson. I don't agree with the whole gay things, and I disrespect.
Like to me, like
stereotypes.
you can't
Hold on a
have
sec.
it both ways.
I employ 3 black fellas, and they're good workers, but there are certain things I don't like. Well, I don't know. That's your own opinion, and you're entitled to your own opinion. And if it's nothing to do with the way if they're hard workers and they're good people, and you don't like characteristics about them because they're black, well, that's your own deal, dude. Like, that's what you have to say, and if you have to live with that, you live with that. I'm not going to be one. I don't care about anything like that, but that's your own opinion, and I respect you. Do you? If you're not,
I'm not a part of this podcast.
Why?
I don't want anything I'm about to say to you to affect this podcast.
What do you mean? Say whatever you want.
Because I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Then say
you
that.
You cannot start a comment by saying,
say that.
I'm racist, I'm this and that, and then also take it back by saying, I believe that this should happen, that should happen. Well, then you don't.
You never said that, though.
That's exactly what they said.
Oh, sorry. Can you read it all? I didn't need that.
Whatever. Good for you, Betty.
Don't get mad.
No, not you.
Don't get mad.
I just think that's crazy. Like, how do you start out a conversation? Sorry. How do you start out a conversation by saying, I'm a racist, I'm a this, I'm a that, a homophobic, but you have a great career? That's good for you. I mean,
I think maybe.
no, I'm reading it right now. I'm a racist, homophobic. I have a great career. I say what I want, but I'm respectful.
And that's fine. And
that's
you know
good.
what?
If
You're entitled.
everyone,
You're entitled to say whatever you want. You know, so long as you're not hurting anybody. You're not. You know what I mean? As long as you're not burning crosses in front of someone's house, or you're not assaulting anybody, you're entitled to your opinion. And that's the thing. We cannot tell people how to think, and that's the thing, you know. Like I feel like everybody is racist in some way.
Okay, I'll agree with you on the sense of that. Like I give
You're
everybody a shot,
everybody's.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to
you know what I'm saying?
the person on the
Us.
camera.
Right? We're racist in some way. We're sexist in some way. We're homophobic in some way. We're
Totally, I proved it today.
But at the same time, I'm not going around beating up gays at the bar. I'm not like, if you're with me, I'm not disrespectful. I'm not gonna be rude to you. I'm not gonna, just because you're gay or you're Muslim or you're whatever. If you're a trans, if we had a trans person here right now and they're like, I want you to call me by a specific pronoun or by a specific name, I will respect that. I have no problems calling you a she or a her or by your name or whatever you want. But if you're telling me that by law I have to do it, then that's when it starts to cross the line, right? Like, if I'm gonna go to jail because, like, this guy in Ontario or in BC, he got a $10,000 fine because he wouldn't say that his daughter, he wouldn't say that his 8-year-old daughter was a he. He got fined for it. He got taken
that's
to court,
a different story.
What's the next thing you said? Because you don't apologize.
I do understand that, like, you're just voicing your opinion, and I reread your comments, and you are respectful to people. Like, it's not like you walk around hating people. You feel the way you feel, and I think that's fair. I just disagree with the way that you feel, and so that's not fair of me.
Well, I mean,
it's not fair to you, because
it's not fair to me.
Because if we think about this, if we're just sitting here bitching about homophobic or not, like a transgender and all these other people, well, that's our opinion, right?
No, but we can't say everybody's fair to their own opinion, and then I can't say that and then be mad at it.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Is that you can't bitch about that because we're allowed to do. There are people that do on. What's the story here? It's a personal choice. It is, but I wouldn't call it respectful. Yeah, what's his name? Two ball throat coat. That's hilarious.
Two ball throat coat.
Two ball throat coat. If you were raised that way, you were raised that way. Plus enough bad experiences with a certain group, you will feel some type of way. Yeah, totally. What do you say it? Two ball throat coat. Okay, so here's my opinion. I don't respect the whole pronoun thing, so I don't associate with people like that. It's simple. Yeah, you know what? That's kind of the whole situation, and I understand. But people have the right to voice their own opinion. I think that if you shut people out and don't allow people to voice their opinion, that's when you have big problems. I'm not saying I support any of the ideas of people like that or support any idea. You guys, when you listen to me and you listen to Soup or you listen to Baxter, then you'll understand. But I'm not voicing my opinion in a certain way, but I'm not going to shut people out and tell people they're wrong and that's the way they want to think. Whatever. The world will correct the wrong. You know what I mean? The world will correct the wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have a shouting match and be an asshole and do all this stuff and be able to correct it. The internet and all the views will correct the wrong. So, what do we got here? What is it saying? Being racist a certain way does not mean you cannot change your mind. I don't disrespect them. I don't want anything with them. Yeah, exactly. I don't want raised and beat up. Well, obviously, I hope not. Nobody is talking about beating up gay people, and people are talking about. Yeah, that's true. And two ball throat coat.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like I don't have any transgender friends. I don't have any gay friends or anything like that. No, it's just because I just don't have any of those. That's just not who I hang out with. But if there was somebody here and I didn't know them, and say it was like a transgender person, like you, right? And you want me to call you Leslie, and refer you as a she, I would do that. I have no problem doing that because it doesn't affect me in any way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not gonna. You're not my friend. I'm not gonna hang out with you.
Whoa. And I agree with that. It's like, how small do you have to be to allow, you know what I mean? There's things I don't agree with about the whole transgender thing, and it's bigger points. The points are bigger than just the thing. Be whoever the fuck you want. But when it gets to a situation where a 4-year-old man is identifying as a female and he's going into girls' washrooms as your daughter goes to his school, that's a line. Then whatever. Then the government or whoever, I don't even like governments that much, but whoever it is need to design this situation better to allow for a trans bathroom then.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Or they have to have a neutral bathroom. Right?
Just
they have to have, and then like a handicap bathroom, right?
Yeah. I just want to say something to a couple of the readers. So I just want to say I have 3 really close gay friends, and they're my close gay friends because they're not, hey, like up in my face, like up whatever. Like,
well, that's the thing.
If they were, they wouldn't be my friends because they'd annoy me, and I have straight friends who annoy me about this. So it comes down to people.
Just people.
No, that's the thing. Like
people
going I'm agree. What you're saying, I know gay people who are like. They themselves are like, I hate those people.
Yeah, they don't like
They don't,
that's
they're
what
like,
I'm saying. I have friends.
They're giving us a bad name.
Yeah.
They're making it shitty for us.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right? Like, we just want to be like regular people.
Yeah.
We don't want to be put on
They
a
are
pedestal.
regular
Yeah,
people.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Totally.
Wait, that's a good point. 2 balls, throat coat. 2 balls, throat coat. He says, so you say close gay friends. Why aren't they just your friends? Well, I'll say one thing close.
Because we're talking about gay people.
Yeah. I'm going to say because we're actually talking about that situation, so we're trying to decipher. If I said friends, or she said friends,
That's
you wouldn't know if we're talking
But
about
that's
men
like
or
the
female.
stereotypical comment to
But
the conversation we're having. Like, we're talking about it. If we weren't talking about it, I wouldn't have said my close gay friends. I would have
That's
said
good,
my
yeah.
gay friend, or
That's
I would have
true.
said my friend.
Well, it's also the other thing, too,
But
is
you
like-
pick that one thing out of everything I said.
No, it's all good.
Well, the thing is too is
No,
like
but-
what is
exactly the
considered, like I use the term bro, dude,
Man,
it's gender neutral.
man.
I don't like. I'll tell my daughter. I'll be bro. Can you, like, dude, can you, and
That's
I'll
a
say,
sensitive thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's stupid.
it's not
My
like.
youngest-
So how is that offensive?
Mankind.
Yeah.
calls me son.
Yeah,
Mankind.
I'll go, dude. Can you fucking,
She goes,
Clean up your
literally
mess.
says, I'm just kidding. I'm not a leftist.
talk to him.
Well, we don't care if you're leftist or not, but that was funny. That was pretty funny. That was a good one. You got her going.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
She gets sensitive about
she's sensitive about
what is it earlier? The fucking where's your husband's
Oh yeah. Where's your
Oh, the
husband?
staple guy.
Staple
When we
guy.
started.
She's a feminist.
No, but like it's just an interesting thing though. Like,
It is
like,
interesting. But the funny thing is, I think we're all right. Like I think, like, if you're getting
Well, I
offended,
think most of us agree that
do what you want.
yeah, like stop telling other people what to say, what to do, how to live. Yeah, you know,
We're all
just
nobody,
people.
nobody wants like I don't want.
I'm not.
You know,
better than
I'm not-
anybody
I'm not-
because
be
I'm
gay.
straight or gay.
Feel free to be gay. It's like the whole they're like gay marriage, right? No, you can't call it marriage because marriage by definition is a union between a man and a woman, right? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's not call it marriage then. Let's just give it a different name.
Call it
A union, and they still get the same
Right.
tax write-offs.
Yeah,
they still
also.
get the same stuff.
common
Like,
law.
if we're getting deep,
Common
like,
law.
we're getting specific into definitions.
This guy had a good point. We talked, Kay Nielsen, hey, have you guys heard about the slavery of the 2 million plus Muslims in China? Sources show that the camps were even worse than the... You know, it's funny what you say that, Kay Nielsen. Last podcast, if you guys haven't subscribe. We talked about this, and we were saying that in, was it in Dubai? You were talking
Dubai,
about
yeah.
the slaves from... what
Their
was it?
slavery is still alive and well in this. day.
Not live and well.
Yeah, man.
It's free.
And you look in Syria, they're still enslaving.
It's alive and well.
Yeah, it's sick, man. That's what I'm saying. Is like if you watch our last podcast, we argued about this for fucking hours. Is saying that like it's not right. Why the fuck are we here? Why the hell are we still doing stuff like
Well,
this?
you know, that's the thing. Like going to the China thing. There, you know, like Muslim culture is very.
It's big in China.
It's very extreme. They're
Big in
very, you know, it's not compatible with certain cultures. You know, like in China, it's not compatible there.
Tell me
You
about
know,
it.
You know,
You
Tell me
and
about
I
it.
should have a
No,
Chinese
I live there.
conversation.
I live there. He doesn't speak Chinese.
I
So
know.
I'm
That's
more
the thing,
Chinese
like-
than him.
I know.
that's the thing. Like, you know, like in certain Islam's not compatible with Islam. You know, there's
Kay Nielsen, we are with you that slavery is super messed up. But the thing is, it's not just China. I lived in China for 5 years, and then I moved abroad. I've done a lot of traveling. I speak Chinese. I moved abroad to Russia, Estonia, Finland, Sweden. But the thing is, slavery is big everywhere. It's not just China. They've been doing this forever. And the thing is, in North America, they make it a big thing. But this is something that's been going on forever, and it's big. And they use people all the time. And it's sad, and we don't agree with that. We don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, the slavery and shit in China. But it is what it is.
well, it's not a slavery though. In China, they have like concentration camps for Muslims. They're trying to like convert them.
Yeah.
Like because it's like you know what though, if you're Muslim, don't go to China.
Well, don't go to
That's
China.
the rule. Don't go to China. You know,
Well, yeah, no. But
they're like they're pretty extreme there. They're like making them eat pork and shit like that and fucking
well, maybe explain it because I didn't know what.
Yeah, in
going on.
China
So
they have-
what
they have-
they're
they have-
capturing Muslims.
yeah, and putting them in like rehabilitation camps.
Oh, really? Like
yeah,
kind of like the
prisons,
Holocaust.
yeah, like fucking
Well,
concentration
I didn't know that, and I
camps, yeah.
apologize. Kay Nielsen,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. That wasn't happening when I lived there.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But I know that
it's
China-
something like 2 million Muslims are fucking. They're they're trying to like rehabilitate them
That's-
to get them out of
That's
being
messed
Muslim,
up.
right?
That's messed up. When I lived there, the funny thing was you'd only hear about wars against other like Asian or Chinese places in China. They would never go to war against anyone else. They'd always just go and like slaughter or like beef with other people in China. Like they'd be like, okay, well, fuck this. We need to fucking we need this land in this little town because we're gonna start fucking this. They just go there, and all of a sudden the next day, no one will talk about it. And be like, okay, we're building all this shit.
Yeah.
People just gone.
Yeah,
They just I guess I don't want to say slaughter, but they just do what they want to do.
in China.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, China is
Well, Tiananmen Square.
yeah,
That's a prime example.
very communist. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
In China, they still have like Gestapo. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if you say some shit, you get some fucking.
You can't say
You'll get
shit.
some people visiting.
You wanna hear a funny story
in
about
the
this?
middle of the night, and you'll never be seen
The
again.
funny story is when I lived there. So I had a really good Chinese friend, and we were sitting in a bar, and I asked him, like, we started talking, because politics never came up. They were always scared to talk about politics.
Yeah.
So I was talking to this guy, I'm like, what do you really think? And, like, honestly, the paranoia and how scared he was, he, like, did a double take over his shoulder, looking around, and he's like, and then he told me, like, his opinion, and his opinion was, like a basic idea of, like being a normal human.
Yeah.
And he was, like, super scared of talking about it. I was like,
Yeah.
why are you so scared? He's like, you can't talk about shit like that here.
Oh yeah. In China, if you say shit,
Kind of
it's
opinion.
fucking-
That's scary.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as like in Russia. You can't say anything
No.
bad about.
When I was in Russia, they
Yeah,
had,
man.
protests we have here.
Yeah.
So this is what the government did. You can have a protest because they're a free country now. So you can have a protest, but what it is that the protests are so like the police will show up and all this stuff, and then they'll blame everything. Like, well, he said this to me, or they hit me with something. So
Yeah.
the protesters will show up with their hands cuffed
Yeah.
and duct tape on their mouth with a sign taped to their chest.
Yeah.
So that the police, and when it gets to the media, they can't say that they said or spit or hit them or anything like that. So then
Yeah.
they protest like this. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
dance around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they doing that? They're like, well, because every time they start a protest, the government says that they did something, so they just get beat up or kicked out of the situation.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a scary
Well, they
world.
still have capital punishment in Asia. It's like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and it's they like you get a fucking bullet to the head, and then they bill your family for that bullet, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that, but
That's like 15 cents.
yeah, make your family pay.
Well, but they still have they'll make you disappear, man. Like if you say shit about the Chinese government, and you'll have fucking Gestapo visit you in the middle of the night, and
The government's scary,
And
but
you're
the thing is,
done.
the mafia in China is super scary. Did you say you lived in Sweden? I know I didn't. Okay, let's read it.
Russia.
If you are an Asia king, you are trying to show you are the best Asian king country you know, huh? If you say the history, people fight those that are close to them. If you've been, what? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't live. Okay, per se. Sorry, I'll take back a little bit. So I didn't live in Sweden per se. I stayed there for a couple of weeks. But I did live in China and I did live in Russia. I lived in China for 5 years and Russia for 2. And then I did a travel to Helsinki in Finland, and I went up to Sweden, did Estonia, and then I did my little travel the other way. So living as in like living for 4 years or 5 years in a country, no, I didn't do that in Sweden. So I don't know the culture or the history behind that, but I will say living in China for 5 years, I can say that I know pretty good or pretty well the history and the culture. I speak Chinese. In Russia, I didn't get accepted as fast in there. They're pretty hard to. I lived as an outsider a little bit, but I knew a lot of Russian people.
Ni hao ma.
Yeah, must have vodka. Yeah, well, why not to? Welcome, must have vodka. But yeah, no. Kay Nielsen, I really appreciate the views and the comments and stuff like that. But yeah, these are topics that are interesting. You know, like this is it's a weird time. So it's a very.
It's a good show. I think it's been your best show all year, probably because I.
Because
Yeah,
you're on it.
because
You're on it. You're on it this time.
That's exactly why.
You're on it. You're on it. But yeah, no. China's a weird place. The funny thing is, it's very hidden. Like when I lived there, like I never realized. Like I didn't see any weird train of thoughts or like. That's probably because they don't really think that way. I don't know. It
Well,
was a
you were-
very normal place.
You were really young. You were constantly calling me, going, "I'm getting arrested."
Only 3 times.
Well, that's not a weird train of thought.
I don't know. I've been to Mexico. I've been to other places. It's like a normal thing in all those countries, isn't it?
because male prostitution is illegal there, right?
Male prostitution. Well, he did what he did. Let me read that.
So current days, the Viking alphabet has taken over by white supremacists. I was thinking about getting some tattooed on my chest with some North Face stuff, but I can't because of the skinheads.
I didn't even know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
so long as you're not getting, a swastika or like the SS symbol. But if you're getting like what are the
Like a triangle?
no, like what are those like the magic symbols? What's that called again?
I don't know. You're too smart for me.
The fucking when they put like
Like the witchcraft thing?
yeah, like in the rocks
Like the
they have like
star?
the little symbols on the rocks. What are they called again? It's like
Maybe he'll know.
like
Yin and yang.
no.
No.
The fucking shit.
Whatever. China's a weird place. The government is so paranoid and stuck up that's why Google Maps streets don't line up. They don't want anyone to know anything in the country. Yeah, it's weird actually. You're right. The actual SS sign comes from the Nordic alphabet. Actually, yeah.
And they do ban all the internet.
We get that.
Yeah.
Also, all the internet contained they ban. Yeah, they do ban all the internet. I know that.
Well, China
I
has
remember
China
you
has
were
their
there
own
and you were
internet.
phoning me, asking me to Google stuff up for you through the Canadian government because you couldn't get it there.
The funny thing is, though, that
They have their own internet in China.
They have their own internet. But the thing is, if you want to be factual, our governments in Canada and U.S. and all countries ban all information. They ban a lot of information.
There's censored information.
There's
yeah.
censored information.
Well,
in
even
your
here where
country.
we are, it's like
I'm so censored.
this video is unavailable in your country.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Like if you change your your search engine to like a giant like a Russian like Google, you like put .ru after, you get 20 different fucking sites that you
Or
wouldn't get here.
even Netflix.
Netflix
right?
even.
Like the Americans have
It's banned
such
everywhere.
better Netflix.
We
than
don't have
do.
any real information
Yeah.
anymore. You gotta really look for it.
It's
you have
filters,
to search.
right?
It's
Yeah,
filtered
yeah.
everywhere. It doesn't. China is so, like not to be. China is the mass of the filtration, but it is what it is. I guess I don't know. You can't control that, but we are too.
As Canadians, what do you guys think of Trump? Trump is awesome, yo. Trump is awesome.
You guys,
We
are you
love
guys
Trump.
serious?
Yeah,
We
Trump
love
is
Trump.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know why?
Oh
Because
my God.
Trump is a guy that doesn't give a fuck what people think. He does what he wants, and he makes shit happen.
But we
that's
also
the thing.
do-
He doesn't cater to the SJWs. He doesn't.
He doesn't
give a
care though.
fuck.
But he doesn't care about if they're there or not. Like he just
Yeah.
do what you want. He's
Yeah.
a realist. He's a real person.
That's why people hate him. Is because he doesn't.
Trump 2020.
Yeah, Trump
no
2020.
more bullshit. Woo!
Yeah.
You don't like Trump?
Trump
Oh
is
my God,
awesome.
are you kidding me?
You don't
Trump
have enough
is
knowledge.
awesome.
You don't have
Yeah.
enough facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have
Trump is
enough
a
facts.
guy that doesn't give a fuck
Trump
about.
is a guy that they
Yeah.
do that. Trump is a guy that lives alone. Boo, boo, boo. Facts. It's true though.
And he's gonna destroy 2020.
Who is he against?
He's gonna win. He's Joe. He doesn't
Joe.
have any competition.
Joe.
The closest competition
Joe.
is creepy Uncle Joe. That's it. Creepy Uncle Joe. That's it. Yeah.
Fuck, I'm so mad. You're right. I don't have enough to argue with you, but I disagree.
He's a dickhead.
We don't like him.
Yeah.
We don't like
The
him.
Canadian Prime Minister is a globalist.
Wow.
He doesn't have
Did you see that?
the Canadian people
This video
with
showing
his
things
best
that-
interest.
of
All he wants to
your
do is
country.
please the global interest. That guy is a fucking snake. He has no
Okay.
clue how to run a country. He only got voted in because he promised. Yes, he's a fucking cuck. He only promised to legalize weed. That's it. That's the only reason he got voted in.
No.
After that, he has done nothing for our country. If anything, he sold us out to every other country. You know, he made a tax. It's called the carbon tax. We have to pay extra for gas. It's an extra tax that we have to pay for gas.
Do you
Meanwhile,
really want to pay extra
that
tax for
fucking guy
service?
goes on vacations in private planes. One of his vacations in his private jet blows more carbon than a whole
Yeah, so
family
it's like
in the
Leonardo-
whole entire year.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's out in this October. We're voting his ass out.
Oh, he's not. There's no way he'll pass.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He sold us out. He only cares about he has no credentials to be the leader of a country. He was
He's a music teacher.
he was a substitute teacher.
Music teacher.
Yeah, that was it. That's his only thing. The only thing is he's writing the name of his father. That's it.
Yeah. And you know what?
Fuck that guy. Fuck him.
Well, whatever. He's entitled to his own opinion.
No, fuck Trudeau. He's a piece of shit.
Well, he didn't do anything for
But then we don't. The problem is we don't have anybody We don't have a
I
Trump.
heard.
Wish we had a Trump. We don't have one.
It's true.
Everybody, all our other politicians are the same fucking dudes.
Canadian politics are weird. What do you say? I say it a lot.
This is what's going to happen. The DNC have like 20 candidates, and they just start getting narrowed down. The people of their own party are going to get mad at each other, and side of the party will be split. So Trump will win. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. They're already Joe Biden. They're already calling him a white supremacist. There's already hate on Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. That guy has no fucking clue on economics. You know, he wants everybody. He wants it to be like a socialist. He wants the states to be socialist, and everybody gets free everything. You know, but then you look at Venezuela, right?
You can't have free everything.
You can't have free everything because then who's gonna pay for it all? Where's that money coming from? Right? Yeah, Bernie Sanders. He talks about, you know, let's give everybody this, give everybody that, and meanwhile he's a millionaire living in a you know, a $5 million mansion, and
It's funny.
yeah, Joe is old, white, and rich, you know.
Which
And that's the thing, and his head of political advisor, she's a black lady, and she's like, you know, her quote was, "We need to vote in a non-white male to become the president." And
Bernie owns 3 mansions.
yeah, he has like, he's got such a huge
That
support.
rich motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he's like the
Crouch.
he's the fucking the poster child of all the fucking socialists.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't support him anyways. I don't know. I support realism. I support someone that's just going to look at a situation and be like, well, we can't do this because we have no money. Or we can do this because
Well,
this
that's the
makes
thing
sense.
is, they want to pay for this and that, and like, oh, everybody gets free college, everybody gets free healthcare.
Yeah, but,
Okay, but where's that money's coming
Yeah.
from middle class people.
So the,
It's not coming from the rich people. It's not coming from, you know, it's they're trying to tax just like the carbon tax.
Let's have ideas.
It's-
Let's have
yeah.
ideas with some support. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Let's have an idea with some backing and some support. Like if
And
you
some
have
realistic
if you're gonna bring an
numbers,
idea where
yeah.
like we're gonna bring an idea that like okay we're gonna have free schooling. Okay, fine.
Well, no, they want to have free
I'll-
schooling, and then they want to wipe out all of college debt.
Yeah,
Right?
okay. So have that, but then tell
But
me
where's that money
tell
coming
me how you're gonna
from?
do
Who's
that.
paying for that? Yeah,
Tell me how you do
they
that.
can't come up with that answer.
Tell me how
Right?
you do that. Like if you tell me how you do that, then I can look at it and be like, well, I'll make a decision.
Well, who wouldn't want? You know, who wouldn't
We
want?
all want that.
Who wouldn't want that? Like, you know, to have the education paid for, to have universal health care
That'd be
and
nice.
shit like that. You know, like we live in Canada, so we have universal health care. You know, and it works here, but at the same time, you know, we have long wait times. People die in the waiting in the emergency room, right? They die and they sit in the waiting room.
That's actually a fact.
If you,
Yeah,
guys,
that's a fact.
if you guys are from the States, that is a fact. Yeah, we have free healthcare, but the healthcare system isn't really that great. It's okay, you know. It's okay for your common flu and cold.
I disagree. I
Socialism
think that
has
I
only
think our
ever
health
worked in
system
3
is
countries:
amazing.
Norway, Sweden, Finland countries that are very only popular. No matter marriage given. Any discussion about? I will take your word for it. I honestly don't know socialism to work. To be honest, socialism in the definition of like if you're taking the definition and then running with it, it's not a bad thing. But the problem is capitalism is so intertwined with society in North America that it's such a hard thing people are too greedy nowadays and all that stuff. So it's like I truly wish everyone was fair, honest, equal, had everything together, and it works. Socialism on paper works, but not. Yes, I agree. Socialism on paper does work. I love that idea. I love everyone having the same. I just talked about this last podcast. I love everyone having the same opportunity and being awesome, and everyone just living life and doing what they're passionate about, and you know, all being similar, and all having the same opportunities. But the problem is capitalism only it's the only way that it works now. It's just too embedded in our history. It's too fucked up. It's not right. I'm not saying it's the best way, but it's just the only thing that's going to work right now. I don't think work is the right word. More like it hasn't fallen apart yet. Yeah, I'll say that too. Hasn't fallen apart yet. But time will tell. Time will tell, I guess. Capitalism hasn't fallen apart yet either, but it's falling.
Well, capitalism is why we're where we are today, right? It's just everybody's gonna, there's gonna be people that take advantage of capitalism, and
Yeah. Same to be said for capitalism. Exactly what I just said.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing is what we gotta instead of having it pure capitalism or pure socialism, there's an in between that we can, capitalism can support socialism. You know what I mean? Like there's people that have billions and billions of dollars that what the fuck are they doing with all that money? They're just they're hoarders, but they're hoarding money. You taking off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, see you
Bye.
later. See you later.
Thanks, guys. Have fun. Stay strong.
Yeah.
Be powerful. Embark.
Right? And that's the thing. There's no reason why we can't feed the homeless. There's no reason why people have to live on the streets and stuff like that. But because we can't agree on things,
Yeah.
right? And that's what's holding us back is, why can't we just
That's the thing is like
be normal? Fuck, why can't we just fucking be normal?
the thing is like the society people, like the people that we're talking to and stuff like that, obviously agree with. Like we're all on the same page. We're all pretty logical and smart. But the thing is that most people in the world aren't logical. They don't think that way.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is the fact is that we all don't. There's a lot of people that are fucking greedy as fuck. That just
Yeah.
want to take everything and like let the poor person sit there. Where most people, if socialism was a real thing, then we would all just be like rational human beings. Be like, we don't need $20 billion. We don't need Jeff Bezos. We don't need to have like $20 billion.
Well, it's like
$20 billion.
why do people need to have a fucking, you're two people? Why the fuck do you need like a 10-bedroom home with a fucking, that's the thing. You don't need that shit, right?
No, we need to make a Discord to have what viewers.
Viewers, yeah, we do have a Discord. We just haven't.
We're not that
Yeah.
elite yet. We're
still new. We're still new.
We're pretty new.
Yeah,
Anything you do to help would be nice.
but thank you for tuning in and
this is
being a
good,
part of
yeah.
this. This is awesome. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Let's appreciate it. And like this is what we want to do is we're just trying to voice opinions to like
yeah, and have
like a
a
talk
platform for
everybody.
everybody.
Just
Yeah,
to talk about
and have actual
issues.
conversation and yeah.
Set up bits as soon as you can. Oh, really?
I think we don't have enough followers to set up bits. That's the problem. We wish we're very new. Like this is we've only been doing this for about 3 months, so
We always use as much help as we can.
yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
Whatever you guys can suggest is that.
Yeah,
I appreciate if you guys like look back. We have like a pretty good setup and things like that. We're trying to like, do things.
give us a follow, and we're for sure Sundays. We're on Sundays for sure. We're trying to do midweek stuff too, just to have more content and stuff. But yeah,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're totally new. We've only been doing this for like 3 months, eh? About that?
Yeah, about 2.5 months.
Yeah, yeah. We just started doing this, so we're still learning all the technicalities and that. So
And we're not younger dudes, so we don't really know all this. We're doing our best.
yeah, we're doing our best.
If we're looking for a channel to talk political discourse for a long time. And yeah, we're open to talk about anything. We want to talk about all
Yeah.
the things that aren't out there to talk about.
Yeah.
Give everyone a platform, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Followers and 3 consistent viewers for a week to unlock partnership. It's funny how you can't just buy partnership.
Yeah, 3 constant views for it. See, that's the thing. We're like right now we only have 21 followers right now, so we're really
How do we boost our followers? Give us some intel on that. How do we get some
yeah,
more people to
we're
watch
totally not
Tech savvy.
yeah, we're not savvy at this. We're
We're just
literally learning
guys.
as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of dudes that sit around, drink, and talk shit. So
And we just tell it how it is,
yeah,
you know?
how we feel and our opinions and stuff. And it's always good when we have participation from viewers, and if you could, if there's any, if you can figure out a way to help us
It's always
grow,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Or shorten the title to drinking and talking about anything. Yeah, okay.
Drinking and talking about
Yeah.
it. That's good.
I guess we have to do like hashtags, or we have to do like
Hashtags, yeah.
Stream
Yeah.
elements.
Stream
Add some more tags. Yeah, that's what I mean. We gotta put more tags and stuff, like politics and yeah, you're right.
That's smart. Yeah,
We do need to that. So when people search
like
that stuff,
in our name.
yeah,
That's
in
good,
the
yeah.
description, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I gotta go, brother.
Two ball throats. Well, what? You gotta go.
Yeah, I got to go.
Well, I'm not gonna sit around by myself. So, but I know you just got back, and I'm sorry, but we've been streaming now for quite a while. We're sad to go.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But we'll just say goodbye, and like you guys, if you could subscribe and follow, or we're on YouTube as well. If you search "Thinking Out Loud" Peg City, PEG City, you'll find us as well. We have quite a.
We're on every Sundays, so
Yeah, we have a good following on
Yeah.
YouTube as well. It's more of a serious drink. Thank you. We appreciate it, everybody.
you, yeah.
We really appreciate everything.
yeah.
We're just trying to build it up so we can just have these good conversations.
It's really fun doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to kind of like vent and get this.
Shit, and have
Yeah.
some drinks. Check out your channel. And
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we're gonna actually sign off just because
I have to take off.
it's take off, and
We're all working dudes. We have normal jobs.
yeah, we're already looking at the time going. It's
Yeah.
11 our time, so we gotta fucking pack it in, and
Yeah.
we're thinking about work tomorrow.
Boo.
Boo, work. Love you
Thank you
guys.
so
Thank
much.
you so much. Peace
Thank
out.
you.
Hey guys,
Peace
you guys
out.
have a good night. We'll check in on Sunday, 8:30. Thank you.